Good evening and welcome to 89.3 Athens Radio. Tonight we have the Imperial Senate. Please, panel, introduce yourselves.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
I am Jackie the Hutt.
Jackie the Hutt, nice to meet you, sir.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
I'm Greedo 1977.
May the Force be with you. May the Force be with you. I am, thank you. I am IG-89. May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you. May the Force be with you. May the Force be with you.
Yeah.
My name is Darth Dudical.
No, hey.
Very nice. May the Force be with you. May the Force be with you. May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you. May the Force be with you.
My name is Jimmy Stewart. May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you. Interesting. Okay, well, let's begin the discussion, shall we, gentlemen?
May the Force
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you. May the Force be with you. The new episodes 1 and 2. Episode 1 and 2. Thoughts? Anyone?
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
IG-89 speaking.
IG-89.
These two new movies are really a travesty to the Star Wars universe.
Travesty.
Yes. I mean, you just can't get a more destructive pair of films to a brilliant concept and execution in the first three.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you. May the Force be with you.
I totally disagree. I think that these first two movies are wonderful prequels to...
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with
I have
you.
a question for you, Jackie the Hutt. Are you retarded? Are you a retarded person?
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you. May the Force be
with you.
No, last time I checked, I wasn't.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you. May the Force be with
I'd like
you.
to say that I feel like the most appalling aspect of the first few movies is the whole issue of midichlorians.
Midichlorians.
I mean,
Midichlorians.
the
Oh my
idea
gosh.
that you can gauge someone's ability to be a Jedi by checking their blood. It's like you're going to do the same test that you would do for sickle cell anemia.
Oh my
Sickle cell
God.
anemia.
May the Force be with
Interesting
you.
point. Interesting point. May the Force be with you. May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you. Jimmy Stewart.
Jim.
Now, I really feel that the first two episodes really cast the whole series into a very dark perspective politically.
It's true.
As you know,
It's true.
the Star Wars trilogy, or septology, whatever 9 is. As you know, the Star Wars movies take place millions of years.
May the Force with you.
There's only
Six films.
I thought they were going to make 3 more after that. Like 3 more.
May the Force be with you. In our wildest dreams. In our wildest
Not
dreams.
confirmed.
In our wildest dreams.
Confirmed.
May the Force be with you.
Spielberg may direct it.
Next question,
Wait a
gentlemen.
minute.
May the
Of
Force be
course,
with
the
you.
dark. Now, as you know, the Star Wars movies take place millions of years in the future.
May the Force. May the Force be with you. Sorry.
May the Force be with you. A long time ago.
Wait, what more do we need to say?
There were no humans have only been around for 100,000 years. How could there be
It's a galaxy far, far away!
Come on.
with humans?
Yes! May the Force be with you. Next question.
Simultaneous
Please.
evolution.
May the Force be with you. May the Force be with you. Now, let's do something fun. I want all of you to imagine yourself in the Star Wars universe. Imagine a scenario that you might be, you might experience in the Star Wars universe.
May the Force be with
May
you.
the Force be with you.
IG-89 speaking.
IG-89.
I imagine myself on a windswept beach underneath 4 moons. Princess Leia lays at my feet, massaging my toes.
Oh, may the Force be with
while
you.
Queen Amidala sits squarely on my face.
I'm sorry. That would be impossible. May the Force be with you. I believe that would be.
It's a fantasy. Am I right?
Amidala died in childbirth.
It's a fantasy, Jackie the Hutt.
You want to do
retarded
it?
idiot.
May the Force be with you. You want to do it with someone's mother and the daughter at the same time?
May the Force be with you. That is hot.
Yeah, may the Force be with you. Yeah, I do.
Alright, I want to. May the Force be with you. I have a fantasy that I am actually Leia and Han Solo's child, and I'm half-breed Jedi, and I'm consumed about whether or not to take on the dark side and repeat the same.
And very
May the
interesting.
Force
Very
be with
interesting.
you. That is a book. You do not have good fantasies. That is the plot line of a book written by Timothy Zahn.
May
You
the Force
complete
be with you.
hack. May the Force be with
May
you.
the Force be with you. May the Force be with you. Does anyone else have a scenario that
May
they
the
would?
Force be with you. I do. I am Darth dutiful. My fantasy is that I have assumed power as a Sith Lord, and the last remaining Jedi have rallied against me. Namely, Kit Fisto, who was seen in Attack of the Clones. He's a green tentacled alien who led the charge in the battle. He comes at me with all the bravado that a Jedi could have.
That unforgettable smile.
They're cocky. They're cocky, those Jedi. But Darth
Jedi are cocky.
Dutiful is even cockier, and Darth Dutiful can back it up. Darth Dutiful behave.
May the Force be with you. May the Force be with you. May the Force be with you. Jimmy Stewart, you have the floor.
Thank you. May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you, Mr.
I would say my favorite fantasy scenario would be I'm on board the USS Pegasus with Robbie the robot.
That's
May the Force be with you.
Have you ever seen Star Wars?
Mr. Stewart, this is
you ever
not
seen
a
Star
wonderful
Wars?
life.
Have you ever actually even seen any of the films, Mr. Stewart?
I have seen all 8 films.
May the Force be with you. May the
5 films, 1 in post-production.
Well, I guess we know who the real Star Wars fan is.
May the Force be with you. We are.
We are all Star Wars.
Oh, I
Star
see
Wars
someone
fans.
who's only seen 5
May
of
the Force
8
with you. May the Force
films.
with you, sir. Do you have anything?
Yes, I have Jackie the Hutt. May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you. May the Force be
May
with
the
you.
Force be with
A
you.
Star Wars fantasy. I learned through the Bothan Spy Network that my ex-wife is cheating on me. So I fly at warp speed to Coruscant, where she lives, and I show her the proof on a holopad.
IG-89, may the Force be with you. IG-89 speaking.
Force be with you. May
That's
the
your
Force be with you.
fantasy, to catch your wife cheating on you, and you're going
I
to
know she's cheating on me. I just need the proof.
But you're going to complain about my wife and mother and daughter fantasy after your ridiculous fantasy?
All
of
I was
ex-wife?
saying is she died in childbirth.
May the Force with you. May the Force with you. The final question of the evening. Wonderful fantasy, one, Jackie. Okay. Final question of the evening, gentlemen. How's your life going? May the
Just been informed. The Fuzzy Slippers will not be joining us. I think it's funny how he tells us like 8 minutes after he's supposed to be here. Oh yeah, by the way, I just realized it. Anyway, for those of you listening, welcome. As always, this is Prometheus.
This is Agamemnon. And we are joined today by one.
My name is CJ, a.k.a. Blood Ocean 07.
Blood Ocean 07. It's like 7 layers of blood.
Some of you might know him from the chat room.
Yeah, I've been on a couple times.
Yeah, we'd like to congratulate you in person for winning the contest.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, we were thinking like, oh man, it's going to be like neck and neck with who wins. It's just like, oh, he emailed us. He wins! So there you have it. If you listen and email, you can win. If you don't, then you just have to stare enviously at The Dark Knight Rises on trilogy on Blu-ray. So, basically, we'll get right into it. This weekend, we were at Staple Convention, and it was a lot of fun. We didn't really do any interviews, mainly because my throat feels like I have sandpaper in it, and it still feels that way now. So I really didn't feel like doing anything like that. So I just actually went and enjoyed the con, and we met a lot of really cool people. We especially got to meet some people that we look up to in the podcast world. Chris Cox, Martin Thomas, and Brian Salisbury of oneofus.net. So you want to check them out. They're really cool dudes. I didn't get to talk to Martin as much as I would like to, as in I pretty much said, hey, this is my name.
Yeah,
Hey,
somebody
that's your
not
name.
familiar, he was Leon on Spill Crew podcast.
Yeah,
Or Spill.com, a couple of cold ones, stuff like that. But yeah, they're like phenomenally cool people.
Yeah, they were really cool.
I was just taken by surprise, like how like regular, and I know that might sound bad, but it's completely like complimentary, like how regular these dudes are. Like they've been doing this pretty much like mainstream. They were, you know, part inspiration of why we're doing this. And just to meet them, and we were just literally like shooting the shit with them, like just having a casual conversation with them, and just kind of geeking out alongside them. And it was a lot of fun. And it wasn't like, you know, I've met some of my favorite like comic book artists or writers and stuff like that, and I've had more like disenfranchising moments than anything. As some of you that
$20 for a memory.
yeah, that whole thing with Lou Ferrigno and Arthur Soydam, and so just to be there, it was a lot of fun just meeting these guys. And you know, they're not like they weren't the Hulk back in the 80s, so they don't have like that huge fan base. But I mean, they have a very hardcore fan base.
Yeah, it's
local
international.
Fan base. Yeah, it's international. So just to actually get to meet them, where there's other people that like live far away, and they're just like, oh man, I wish I could meet these dudes. Like, they're cool. Like, if we have any crossover appeal with those guys, and some of y'all that listen to them, listen to us, they're like the coolest dudes. And if you ever get a chance to meet them, it's like meeting one of your friends.
Louis says Arthur Soydom was mean when he met him as well. Sad face.
Yeah. It's funny, just to kind of not get too off track, but I got to meet Francesco Francavilla there, and he's done some really great artwork. Mostly what I'm familiar with is a couple of issues he did on Guardians of the Galaxy, and I ended up getting those signed along with my Swamp Thing number 10, I think, that he did. And I remember being like the third person in line at that moment, and then when I walked up to him, I was like, hey, I didn't have, all my stuff was in my bag.
Yeah.
And I was like, do you sign, like, personal stuff? And he just kind of, like, looked at his friend and looked back at me, and he was just really, like, with this kind of, like, confused look in his face. Yeah, I do. And I was like, okay, cool. And I started, like, fumbling for all my stuff, and, like, I dropped one comic, and I was just like, oh yeah. And then when I gave him my comics, they slipped out of the slipcover, like right into his face. And I was like, that was such an accident. And then he was like, no, don't worry about it. And I was just like, yeah, it was like my hands were shaking. I don't even know why. Like,
it was like literally like the cliche where the kid has his books and he's running to class and just spills all of them everywhere.
It's not like I was meeting Garth Ennis, who's like one of my comic book heroes, you know?
Yeah.
It was just like a dude that I've been familiar with for like a couple of months, and he's following me on Twitter, and that's cool. And I don't know, like I just froze him. Oh yeah, here you go. I was like shaking like a freaking ice cube, and he signs it, and I get the Swamp Thing as well when I saw it there, which I actually did need because I've been missing that one for a while. So he signed all three, and then he gave it to me, and I shook his hand. I was like, "Thank you very much. I'm a fan of your work." And he was like, "Cool."
Did you give him a firm Hank Hill handshake?
Well, I tried to give firm handshakes, but he gave me a firm Hank Hill. He would approve. That's all I would say. Hank Hill would approve of this man's handshake.
Fractured a couple of bones in your hand. Like, that's a good handshake. Now I need medical attention.
Well, yeah, it wasn't that firm, but it was a pretty strong handshake. And it was just really cool. Just it was just funny seeing the confused look on his face. Like, of course I do. Are you crazy? It's just because that was the first time I've ever met anybody that was just like, yeah, of course I'll sign your stuff for you. And not like asking in return, like, you got to buy this Batman print and this other Batman print, and what the hell, I'll cut $10 off, so you just pay me $20, and I'll go ahead and sign your Marvel Zombies. Like, that's literally what the whole thing was with Arthur Soydom.
But I already spent $20 to buy Marvel Zombies for you to sign.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. That's the thing that sucks, and I brought this up to J. Anthony Hernandez that was there, and he has a comic called
Crazy Animal
Hands, and he's a really cool guy. I definitely recommend if you like. It's comics kind of like a parody of like anime, and like everyone talks in like English. And it took me a while to realize that's what they were doing, because like on the cover it's like the first issue badly dubbed. So first I was just like, does this guy just not know how to write dialogue? And I'm like, oh, I see, it's a parody.
Yeah, it's on purpose.
Yeah, but it was like the action was really cool, and he's just like a cool dude. But we were talking about like, it's like when I was growing up as a kid and you went to a Comic-Con, like the price of getting an autograph was the price of the con and your time for waiting hours in line, but you didn't have to get up there and like, oh yeah, spend another $20.
Yeah.
Like they were always super cool, And this was like in the heyday when like comic artists were making like tons of money. This was like when Image was first starting out.
Right.
It's like these guys, maybe that was the case. They were like $20, whatever. I pissed $20. Maybe nowadays they're like, yeah, I really need that $20 to pay my rent. So, so cough it up, kid. So it was pretty cool. I met a lot of really interesting people. The thing that I love about kind of the Austin scene, it's like you kind of see a lot of familiar faces. So a lot of the dudes that we met at Classic Games Fest were there. We got to see Chris from Effing Decaf, Zach from Bear Quest, and Austin Squeegee Island. And we got to chit chat with those guys. And they're really cool dudes. They all have like video game themed type comic books and artwork.
And tabletop.
Oh, yeah, and tabletop as well.
I think one of them was tabletop. I think Bear Quest is kind of like a read-along
Bearcrest is like, it's pretty much like he mods a video game for like the background of the actual comic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was always confused by that.
Yeah, like
I remember touching on it at Classic Games Fest. I guess I just forgot.
Okay. Yeah, so it was cool to see them again. And, you know, it's just nice where you're just like, you know, where you go somewhere where everybody knows your name.
Yeah, that was like the coolest thing, because it was like, I mean, I'm not as much of the PR guy. Like, I know a handful, but a handful is like maybe with 2 fingers that I know those people. But most people point out like, oh, hey, Carlisle. I mean, Prometheus.
Yeah.
Sorry. And then you'll be like, oh, hey, what's going on? And I'll just kind of like sit there and tag along, because I'm usually like the camera guy or the guy with the taking photos or something, or taking care of the kid. And so I don't get to meet these dudes as intimately as you do.
Oh, I meet them very intimately.
Yeah, just like talking to him, and then
on a personal level.
Yeah. I forget his name. The dude that made you wear the hat.
That was Austin.
Austin, yeah.
That was Squeegee Island guy.
Yeah, Squeegee Island. And that shit's hilarious. In a way,
he didn't make me. I allowed it.
yeah. But he like had you wear that hat, and you're just it's like, buy my stuff, bitch.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I think it was like, come buy my book. But he did do it in a clever way. It
was like, buy my goddamn book.
Yeah, he was like, oh yeah, put on this hat, see if it makes you dizzy. And then it's like, well, you're concentrating on that. You're advertising for his booth. But you know, he's a guy that deserves advertisement. He's just a really cool dude. He's really quirky. And, yeah, I had fun when I first met him at Classic Games Fest, and it was cool seeing him again. And, so we met that dude. I can't remember the girl's name, but it's the, what are they called now? Comic Book Society. And I want to say they're an art institute group, and they just do, whenever they they go to conventions, they usually do commissions, and they're really cool. And it's funny how I bumped into her, because I was talking to somebody, and I was like, you know, like, hey, come on the podcast. And she's like, oh, hey, you guys were the punching through the walls guys.
You guys are the punching through walls guys.
Yeah. I eventually just want to make like a video or like an audio file of like all the different ways people have butchered their name. Oh, yeah. But hey, if they remember it in whatever form, that's good enough for me. So I appreciate that. And then you know, we met some really cool people, like some new people. 2 of my favorite ones, just because they were this really quirky. I can't remember what her name was, but she did. Where is it now? I think her Tumblr is Modest Monkey, or that was one of the girls that was there. The other one was Fangirly, and you can find her on fangirly.tumblr.com.
Yeah, because it was a princess breakfast.
Yeah.
All, like, sexed out.
Yeah, like, all of her stuff. Okay, usually when you see, like, the really, like, sexy, revealing artwork, it's usually guys that draw it.
Yeah.
It's like this girl. I mean, not to say that girls can't also appreciate the female form, but it was a little bit, like, it was kind of jarring. I was like, huh. So I was like, all right, I got to stop and talk to this girl. And she was really cool, and, you know, she was doing, like, commissions for, like, $5. I'm like, why did I spend all my money before I stopped here?
Yeah.
So she was really cool. And then her friend, who's part of the same group, did a comic book called Mona and Michelangelo. I believe her name is Morgan Thomas.
Michaelo.
I don't know. Ninja Turtle. Whatever. But
there's not even a G in there for Angelo.
Hey, you shut your hole, all right? I can put whatever letters and whatever words I want. Anyway.
I had that girl's card and I can't find it now.
Well.
I want to say it was Meg Has Issues, but that was another awesome person. I don't think it was.
But no, she was really cool. She had like this art style that was almost like a more refined, like Adventure Time art style.
It's funny because I bought a bookmark off of her, and this is some of the art here, but she's got none of her info on the back of it. It was just like,
Yeah, there were a lot of people like that where it's like, this is so cool, but you didn't put your actual info.
It looks more like a bookmark, actually.
Yeah, that one.
No, it is a bookmark.
Okay.
I got it, but
that explains it.
Some bookmarks that I usually buy that'll actually have info on it for their stuff, so then I can recommend it to people while I'm reading a book at work or something.
Killinova says, "Oh my God, I can never remember how Pit War goes. I totally sympathize with her." Well, I guess that's my doing, because I was the one who's like, punching the walls of reality. That's such a funny name. Let's do it. Never really thought about any sort of like actual like marketing implications. It's just like, this makes me laugh. I like laughing. But anyway, but they were really cool. And the girl that does the Moa and Michelangelo comic, she was really sweet. She was like a sweetheart. And I haven't read them yet, but I'm going to read them and review them on the website. We're just going to do like a big like SpellCon like review and kind of shout out to everybody. But the people that really were memorable were the two girls that were from Rather Dodgy, and their symbol is pretty much like a nun smoking a joint. And they were just, yeah, they were just,
the funniest thing to me was that, like, they had all these, like, funny signs, like, come on, you know you want to buy it. You literally can't beat our deals.
Yeah.
And then it had this whole explanation on the word literal. So, like, literally, you can't beat it. But it was, like, ironic.
Yeah.
And kind of condescending at the same time. It's like, I love it. But then when you try to strike a conversation, it's like, oh, man, they're really, what's that word? It starts with an I. When you're not very outgoing. Introverted. Yeah. You're like, they're like really introverted, and they're just kind of like, they would rather just like look down and work on their art. And I was just kind of like, okay,
and I was like added to the appeal.
We're not really getting to. That was the funny thing that I was. From my perspective, I was hoping that we would be able to strike up a conversation, like, oh, because we got the same kind of like humor.
Yeah.
But they were just kind of still like, thanks. I hope they walk away soon.
Yeah, I looked at their Twitter and someone tweeted at them. It's like, you guys were easily the weirdest people I met at the convention. And they're like, thanks. Well, they were really cool. Like, I don't know. I just like people that are just really quirky. And they're just, I don't know. Like, I love their sense of humor. And then on top of that, they were just like really like, you intrigue me. Tell me more, you know. But we met them, and then just everyone else was just really cool. Just like, it's just fun to go in there and just to strike up a conversation with people where it's like, you like what I like, you know?
Let's be friends.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Let's add each other on Facebook and be friends forever. But there was this guy that was on there, Isaiah Brossard, I don't know, Isaiah something. But he was really cool. And pretty much I just glanced at his artwork, and I saw more from X-Men the Animated Series, and like, I'm going to talk to this person. We understand each other.
Yes.
And we just kind of do a whole conversation about that. And it's funny because, like, up until maybe like a year ago, like, I thought like I was the only one that loved that show, like as an adult.
Oh, okay. Well,
but it's
I would watch it now, but
yeah. Like, have you seen it recently?
Not recently.
Oh, okay. Oh, it was on Netflix.
Oh.
And I rewatched it after like, I don't know, 12 years of watching it as a kid. And I was like, oh my god, I love the show even more than I did as a kid, you know? Like,
I listened to the intro not too long ago, and it still is like freaking awesome. The whole like guitar is just amazing.
Yeah. I swear we almost have like a quota. We have to sing it at least once per episode.
Nice.
But Louis says, you guys can't see this, but the second I heard X-Men, my head popped up like a weasel or a groundhog's. Louis in the chat. I can imagine that. Just like his ears perk up like a... Did someone say Iceman?
Yeah. You know, it's just funny because I know we just had interviewed him like last week. But like running into Uncle Staple...
Oh, yeah.
AKA Chris, like, so many times during the convention. But, like, him still, like, going out of, like, oh, hey, guys, how you doing? Where, I know another convention, I don't really want to put it out there, but the dude that we had met the previous year, and I understand things can get hectic and busy, but to kind of, like, blow us off without even saying hello, not even like, hello, I'd love to catch up with you guys, but I'm busy, and then leave. That would have been cool, but it was just like, yeah, I gotta go 10.
He said, I got celebrities coming in.
Yeah, we were like, hey, man, we don't want to know if we could, pull you away just for a quick second, maybe set up an interview for later on our podcast, and we just kind of threw that out there in like 2 seconds. You know, it said blah, blah, blah,
it was
blah,
like,
blah,
hey,
blah,
blah, blah, blah, blah.
And he was just like, I'm really busy. I got to go tend to some celebrities. Like they're freaking sheep that need to be fed.
Aren't they, though?
I was like, yeah, okay,
Aren't
no,
they?
that's cool. Just playing the game, but it hurts in a way. But at the same time, and then you know, getting able to meet Uncle Staple, and realizing this is a much more local effort, and then just him being like a really cool, laid back, chill dude. And I almost feel guilty for not bringing a bullhorn, even though I have no access to a bullhorn. But him like screaming the entire weekend.
Man.
Yeah, he was like, hey guys!
I feel like that just added to his charm. I don't know. Just to touch on the other convention guy, I don't know. I didn't really feel slighted. I understood that he was like super busy, and especially like hearing about other things that happened with the convention. It was just like, it was almost like the convention was bigger than like what he had anticipated, and he just wasn't prepared for people to be, you know, like that into it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I get that. But yeah, on the same token, it was like, yeah, it was really cool. Uncle Staple was just like, he's just such a chill dude.
Yeah,
you know?
He's real cool.
He's just an awesome guy, and I love him. But yeah, it was just cool. Like he really made you feel like you said, like the whole thing is just it felt like a community, you know. Like everyone was welcoming and everyone was just really cool, and it was just like it's almost like you're going to a place where you're hanging out with all your friends, but friends you don't even know yet.
And Dan, I forget about Dan.
Oh yeah, Dan
and
Price is always awesome.
Jen from Jen Hart's Art.
Jen Hart, yeah,
they were
Jen
like
Art.
They were the two that seemed to recognize us every time.
Oh yeah,
but like it wasn't even just them though, and I think those are the two people I mentioned earlier. We're like, yeah, those are the two that definitely recognized me like the last couple of times we've been out in conventions. But I mean, just seeing other people like, oh hey, you're those dudes, and like just actually getting recognized to an extent, just mostly by name, not by like they look at us and be like, hey, you're those guys with the funny avatars.
You've got a monocle.
But it kind of makes you feel more like you're at home.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hey, we're just, it's just another place. Now I know how, like, regular con-goers feel. Like, Chris Rachel's talking about when she goes to, like, Ren fairs. And also, I'm sorry, this is just kind of a side note. If anybody's noticing the audio dropping off, please let us know. Because maybe it's just my headphones meeting their maker soon. But the audio keeps dropping out on one of the...
NSA chatter.
On the left or right side at either point. But anyways, like how she talks about when she goes to Ren fairs, and she's always going with a group of people, but she always meets like tons of other people there that she knows. And granted, she's a shaker, she's a mover and shaker, but it's like no matter where she goes, she pretty much talks about how like she's always at home to some extent.
Yeah,
I've been doing this since I was a kid. Mm-hmm. Well, we've been doing this for almost 3 years, and we're finally getting that feeling. So it's really cool.
I just want to go into the chat. Carrie Figueroa was asking if anyone's seen the Japanese X-Men the Animated Series intro, and it is badass. I have seen it. It's really awesome. When I first saw it...
The new anime one? The recent one?
It's from the X-Men the Animated Series, like the 90s version, but they made a Japanese intro, and it's like all anime style. Like they're fighting the Brood and all that.
The one with the crappy Australian Wolverine?
No, that's that one was made in 89. Sir, please try and keep up with your X-Men.
I thought you said 80s.
No, it's for the same 90s version, but it's the Japanese. The Japanese, is for whatever reason, they made their own intro.
I've got to find it.
And it's badass. And I remember seeing it, thinking like, oh man, there's a whole new X-Men show. and I was all disappointed. I was like, oh, it's the same. Oh. It's a new intro for the same show. But yeah, it's really badass.
Made just for fun.
Louis says, for shame, Jay. You should know better. And Kelly says, laughing her ass off, she knows who we're talking about. Quote unquote, the other con guy was way overloaded during that con. Poor guy. but yeah, that's the thing. It's like I sympathize with him. Like I didn't take it personally at all. Like he literally was like running around with his head cut off, like trying to get everything in order. So, I mean, it would have been cool to talk to him, but I mean, there'll be another time. There'll be other times. So let me just go through. I still have a couple more people I just want to give some shout outs to. One of them was Benjamin Butler, and I can't remember which one that guy was, because there were 3 people that were at a table, and one I bought.
Benjamin. That's the one you bought it from off of his friend.
Yeah, it's from, and then one was Jason.
Yeah,
he was the one that had the zombie "We Can Do It" poster.
Yeah, and then that was a dude that was all introvert and quiet.
Yeah,
and then I was talking to their lady friend. I forget her name. But she was the one that... No, not like that. I'm married.
Wink.
I'm a married.
No. I wasn't even laughing at that. It was just because I was trying to think of it too, but I didn't really fully introduce myself.
I think I just looked it up. I had her card. Yeah, but... no, I have it. I'll have to look it up. I know. I just think I just saw the card. Stark. But yeah, she's one I was talking to about commissioning... Shut up! My God. About commissioning us some art for the website. Because we're working on our new show that we have yet to even plug on here, I think.
Yeah.
But it's called Extraordinary.
Starring us and Chris Rachel. Of Kitchen Overlord.
And Fanboy TV.
Yes, those guys too.
Who've apparently been nominated for, what was that, Podcast Awards?
Well, not quite. We'll get back to that. Okay. But, yeah, just so if you guys are interested, I mean, it's a lot different from this show where very much our goal is to be silly and make you laugh. Like, it's actually... more about issues. It's like race and gender issues in the geeky world, I guess you could say. And I don't know. People seem to really like it. It's like you put something out about the podcast, and we're all excited, and we're like, "Oh yeah, people are gonna love this episode. It was so funny." And then it's like tumbleweeds. No one's listening, and we put that out there, and just like, "Oh my god, this is so great. Why didn't you guys do this sooner?" It's like because we were doing podcasts we thought people liked, but.
It was her name was Mary from, and her thing's called Meg Has Issues.
Mary Death. Because I was totally right.
Mary E. Golding.
Close enough. Killinova says
she was the other cool one.
Killinova says she loves that name, Extraordinary. You can thank Jay Agamemnon for that.
It just came to me.
Yeah, in a dream.
It was like a dream where I was flying dragons. They might have been flying me. I'm not too sure. But
sometimes you never know.
It was great. There was a lot of gold around. Some hobbits.
Did you know you were dreaming?
No. It was like...
wasn't like Inception?
It was just like Inception, where I woke up. It was like Leo waking up, thinking he had won an Oscar. And he just started crying. He was like, "Put me back in."
I don't want to be remembered nothing. I want to be someone
ring.
famous, like an actor. I know when I look at that Oscar, it's just electrical impulses to my brain telling me that I won for Best Actor. But you know what? Ignorance gives me a damn Oscar. Damn you, McConaughey. You know, it's funny because like I never gave two craps about the Oscars. But I really want Leo to win. Like, I don't know. There's just a part in my heart where it's just like, Leo, you've earned it. You've given me plenty of quality entertainment, you know. And considering, like, there's other actors who haven't and they have Oscars, I just feel like there's an injustice.
Yeah. There seems to be a growing sentiment, at least on Facebook this morning. There was, like, dozens of people that were just like, man, I don't really care for the Oscars, something along those lines. Or even if they did, it was just like, I was really hoping Leo would win it this time. And I was thinking, like, you know, if he actually did win, it would be for Wolf of Wall Street. The one movie where he's like, there's like boobs and quaaludes and drugs, like the most as obscene as it gets for I think a Leonardo DiCaprio movie.
Pretty much.
But you know, there's been other movies like he didn't get it for Titanic. He didn't get it for The Departed. Both like incredible roles.
I feel like
you know, there's few, and then you know he didn't get it when he as his his first villain roles, Candy and Django Unchained. But then in the one movie where he just kind of lets loose and like, you know what, I don't even care anymore.
I felt like it was going to be the Training Day syndrome, where it's like, you know, it's like Denzel Washington usually plays like somewhat more of like a positive person, or you know, he has like a really strong character. It's like, well, the time he plays the villain. It's like, now you can get an Oscar. I felt like they're going to do the same thing with Leonardo DiCaprio. It's like, well, the first scene of Wolf of Wall Street starts where he's doing coke off of a stripper's ass. It's like, you've earned your Oscar now.
Yeah.
You know? But, I don't know. I mean, it didn't really surprise me, but I was still pulling for him. But Matthew McConaughey won, and, you know, it's not a bad consolation prize. I didn't see the movie that he was in to win it. Supposedly that movie is amazing. And I can't remember the name of it.
Dallas Buyers Club?
Yeah. When you buy Dallas.
I don't know if that was the one. That is another one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But apparently that movie was really great.
Yeah, I heard he lost a lot of weight for it. He was actually like really skinny.
Oh, yeah. His abs are like popping out even more. It's like, I don't even need a shirt. But, yeah, because I want to say he plays someone with like AIDS or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Someone who's just really skinny. It's like, that's my
so
role.
in that case, it's Philadelphia Syndrome. Another great Denzel movie. It's actually from the Tom Hanks side of things, but
I didn't even know Denzel was in that.
Yeah, he was like the leading role in that movie.
Well, I also never saw it. So
really? Oh man, that's such a great movie, dude. I kind of cried at the end. Not even lying.
I cried at the end of Dark Knight Rises.
It was kind of sad.
But I thought Batman died in the explosion. I had a tear dripping from my face.
I almost cried.
I was like, no, bro.
It was just funny because I wasn't expecting to feel that like sad at the end, but even from the very beginning, and just thinking of like the time period where that movie came out, it was like 93, I think, 94 maybe.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you think now is a rough time for the LBGT community, it's like back then was even tougher.
Yeah.
And for a movie like that to come out.
Oh, yeah.
Was such like, I don't know, maybe.
Come out?
What? You know, I'm assuming might have received some form of negative reception, but.
What is kind of Hollywood, though?
Yeah, it is Hollywood. There's that. That's the safe haven, but. It's an incredible movie, I think, even for the time that it came out. And it holds up well with times. It's a movie I highly recommend.
So what would you say is better, Philadelphia or Philadelphia cream cheese?
Definitely Philadelphia cream cheese.
Oh!
No, the movie.
I would have also accepted both are delicious.
Cream cheese comes and goes, but the feelings I have for Philadelphia last a lifetime.
And it can also be spread on a bagel. Steve-O chimes in. He says, maybe the 4-Eyed Radio Network should do an award show where the fans can vote. Only if, like, for his best actor, the only choice is Leonardo, so he can finally win.
Yeah.
That'd be the only way he would win. Fans vote.
That'd be hilarious. Like, he still loses. Like, there's just, like, a write-in. It's like Christian Bale. For, like, not even for a movie, just Christian Bale. It's like he wins for his performance when he's yelling at the key grip on Terminator Salvation. Best dramatic performance. What are you, some type of bloody amateur? Get the fuck out of my screen. We're doing movies here.
Big boy movies.
This ain't no Disney on Ice production. Steve-O says he'll get beat out by Nick Cage. I wonder if Nick Cage's like award will be bees. Just like sting them. Not the bees. For those of you who haven't seen it, if someone wants to put it in the chat, there's Taylor Swift. It's like that one song. I don't know how it goes, but it's just like, and I'm lying on the cold hard ground. Oh. Trouble. Well, when she goes, they have like Nicolas Cage in that scene.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember the UFC rep that, and they put Bigfoot Silva.
Oh yeah,
because every time he wins, he does this really loud. He sounds kind of like Andre the Giant. So if you can imagine a dude that has the same kind of physical stature as Andre the Giant, but like in a huge, funky-looking Brazilian.
They had like the Easter Island statues.
Yeah, he's got a face like Easter Island statue. Antonio Bigfoot Silva, and he does this like really loud guttural scream where it's like, ah! And so they had that in the promo. So they had that song going, but it was like Bigfoot, like all these different wins that he had, but it all sounds the same. He's like, ah, ah, trouble, ah.
That's how he communicates.
Yeah, pretty much. I very much make that same sound. Like whenever I go to Hey Cupcake and they don't have Sweet Berry, I get really angry. I'm just like, why? If you had it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Carrie in the chat says, the reason why Leo hasn't won an Oscar is that so he keeps making amazing movies until he's old and gets an honorary Oscar. Dude, I could totally see that happen to where he finally gives, like, the ultimate, like, the pinnacle performance of his career, and then some old dude just comes in and like, that'll do, pig.
They just silence her to the back of the head.
Yeah.
And then like they give him the postmortem like Oscar. The lifetime,
he doesn't even get to enjoy it.
The Lifetime Achievement Award.
Oh, that's awful. That is awful. Bury it with him.
Maybe he'll have like one conscious thought, or maybe they'll decapitate him. So then because I think it's like the brain remains conscious for like 10 more seconds, long enough for him to see the Oscar. And he's just like, you just see one tear coming down his face,
and then a smile.
Yeah, this is a
smile frozen on his.
He's just like, I regret nothing.
Maybe by that time it'll be like Futurama. His head is
They find a way to save him, put his head in one of those Futurama aquariums, and then it's like, oh well, since you're still alive, that actually negates the award. So we're gonna give it.
You're no longer eligible for the post-mortem.
We're gonna give it to Jonah Hill. Like,
but I'm not dead.
Yeah, right. No, they don't even shoot him. They just hand him a plate of food. Not yet. You're not.
Gorge on this.
He's just like, I'm not gonna be persuaded like that. You're not supposed to eat the Oscar, Jonah. But anyway, I don't know if you have more people to talk about. I have one. I saw the thing that you had on there. We met a guy named Kevin Chin.
Yeah,
and he was really cool. He's another person that we started talking to because we started talking about X-Men. And my favorite moment for anyone that still reads like Marvel comics. Or has read Marvel comics, I guess, in the last 10 years, and is familiar with Brian Michael Bendis, you'll get this, and this will tickle you. So we're talking about, I was asking him, because he had I forgot what he had written, or he had some drawings, but basically I was asking him, I was like, hey, do you still keep up with what's going on in X-Men? He's like, I've read the Avengers vs. X-Men, but I'm still kind of getting caught up. And so I started explaining to him, Battle of the Atom and All New X-Men. And then I was just like, yeah, Bendis is writing. And he just had this look on his face like, oh, man. It's like that look where it's like, you're just like, it's hard to explain. But it's like, unless you've read Bendis, you don't know. Where it's like, Bendis is like talented. He's very talented. He's a good writer. But the way I describe it to people is like he's a writer with ADD. Like he starts off with this great story. You're like, oh man, this is gonna be awesome. This is gonna be like the Breaking Bad of comics. And then it goes to another plot line. You're like, all right, this is a good plot line. I'm following this. I'm having fun. Then it goes to another plot line. You're like, what happened to those other 2 plot lines? Then there comes 3 more plot lines. You're like, all right, you son of a bitch.
Like, I don't remember the first.
Let's go back to the first one. And it's like before you know it, it's just like, you know what? Just go ahead and do Deus Machina. End this whole thing. Yeah, everyone's a scroll. It's like, oh, Elektra's a scroll. Wolverine's a scroll. Super Skrull's a scroll.
Gamora's a scroll.
Yeah, Gamora's a scroll. Oh, God. Yeah.
The way I would describe the guy's look is like, if you're having a pretty good day at work, I'm sure there's always like somebody that you just don't want to be around at work. And say you're just like, you're working somewhere where like, all your favorite people are there. Yeah. And you guys are having like this incredible, fun conversation. And then he walks in, or she walks into the room, and you're just kind of like, ugh. Like, that's the look he had on his face. The minute we mentioned Bendis, it was like, all good times are over, gentlemen.
That's true. It was like the buzzkill, like, oh, man, Bendis.
It's like how it was like how the Republicans felt when Obama first took office on Inauguration Day. It was like that.
Well, that would be like, at least like the moderate Republicans, because the other ones were just like, do you ever see that South Park where they're all like hanging themselves? like all the Republicans were committing suicide. Like I think it's like Stan goes to the emergency room, and they're like, how can you tell which one voted for McCain and which one voted for Obama? It's like all the Obama ones are like in traction from partying too hard and it's being assholes about winning, and all the McCain voters are like trying to commit suicide. That's like how you can tell which was which. That was really hilarious. Kelly Nova says in basically referring to the Bendis thing, she says hashtag embrace change. That must definitely be the slogan that Bendis lives by.
Yeah.
Louis says a scroll is a scroll. Yeah, basically everybody's a scroll. Steve-O says, do you even scroll, bro?
Yeah, apparently everybody does.
Yeah, you do whether you want to or not if you're reading Marvel Comics, because if they write themselves into a corner, it's like, scroll?
But it's just funny because he was talking about he was waiting for Wolverine and the X-Men
to
hit trade paperback. He's like, yeah, I'm just waiting on that one to hit the trade, and then I feel like I'll be caught up on that comic. But I haven't really been keeping up. I just kind of he was talking about how he was kind of disenfranchised with series, and then when we mentioned Bendis, he had that like weird look in his face, and they're like, well, I'm pretty sure I'm not missing anything that I wouldn't want to.
That was like the sadness in his eyes. Yeah, because he had mentioned young Cyclops. He's like, there's a young Cyclops now, and then I gave him the whole spiel.
Yeah, I like how you were explaining it. Like, yeah, there's a young Cyclops, there's the current Cyclops, there's like 4 Icemen. Like, we've been through this before. And he was literally like, oh my god, like eye roll and all that good stuff. He was just like in disbelief on the whole thing. Like,
yeah. It's almost like you meet a girl and it's like, oh man, this girl's like the girl of my dreams. Like, I think we could be together forever. And she's like, oh yeah, let me introduce you to my boyfriend. And you're just like,
friend zone.
Yeah, friend zone. Yeah, it's like he didn't even want to talk to us anymore. Like, I'm done.
Yeah, it's like, you just killed my buzz. He just paper cuts its wrist. He's like, that won't kill me. Yeah. It's really gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt less than reading business.
Yeah.
Kilneva says, I'm a Skrull, he's a Skrull, she's a Skrull, because we're all Skrulls. Yeah! Louise says there was actually 3 Iceman and an ice creation. Okay, if you want to be technical, Louise, the Golem Iceman was technically a creation of the future Iceman, but still, there was still a physical ice creature.
Everyone thought he was Iceman.
You might even say an ice
Everyone thought
man.
He was
But yeah, technically there was 3.5 Icemen, which sounds like a sitcom.
It really does.
It's like, do you like Icemen? Do you like Ashton Kutcher? Well, we're introducing 3.5 Icemen. And then Charlie Sheen just comes in there and just kills everybody. Louis says, what a twist.
I have tiger blood.
Louis says, and an ice cream man. He's just serving the rest of them. I can see him as like, he'd be like the serial killer that like collects his victims. And he's like, oh, you're just what I need for my collection. Like, he already has the Human Torch and like Hydro Man.
Dude, it'd be like Dexter, but it's called Bobby.
Yeah. Just a little like slice through the cheek and injects the blood. Or what would be the opposite of injecting? Withdrawals.
Withdrawing.
Re-injecting. Uninjecting. Ejecting. Ejecting. Let's go with that. Like a VCR for your face. No beta backs there. But anyway, to hop into some topics, let's see if you have other people you want to shout out to.
No, it's just funny when we were talking to that Kevin guy, just to wrap him on that. Because I think we were pretty much done. He just kind of... I just felt it was like an unnecessary remark. He was like, well, don't keep me from you guys continuing on. I kind of butchered it, but...
He's like, don't let me stop you from enjoying the rest of the convention.
Yeah, and I was kind of like, oh... I thought we had something. Sorry to be wasting your time.
Yeah, after mentioning Bendis, he's like, I just need to sulk alone, guys.
Yeah. He was cool. He said he was a local game developer. Maybe we'll try to have him on the show or get him to tune in or something. Or maybe he was and just left.
If he comes into the comes on the show, I'm gonna give him like a gift and give him like the best of Bendis.
He'll hate you immediately.
You can find him on Twitter at Kevin Chin Art. So maybe you can tweet him and tell him, like, hey, these guys are talking shit about you.
Yeah, tweet him some Bendis comics. No, actually, don't do that. But
yeah, Ice,
no, he's actually really
Ice can
cool,
recommend
dude.
him some good Bendis issues.
Carrie said, I did enjoy the new Age of Apocalypse that came out in 2012. That was a fun series.
There was an Age of Apocalypse?
The second Age of Apocalypse? Was that like the second coming of Apocalypse?
I was so disenfranchised with the first one.
Is this funny to me? Oh, nice. Dude, right when he said that, I got a message. Kevin Chin's not following us on Twitter. So he's like outside the door, like stalking us. Like, I heard you're trying to give me Bendis. That won't happen.
What the fuck's your problem?
Yeah, right. He's like, haven't I suffered enough? 3 Icemen and Cyclops from the past? Come on. I just want to enjoy Wolverine and the X-Men, and you ruined it.
Yeah. But aside from being a local game developer, he also does illustration and design. I believe he mentioned doing commission work, so go ahead and chin him up. Go ahead and check him out. I'm like so about his name right now. Reminds me of a character from King of Fighters. But yeah, check his stuff out and hit him up for some art.
Yeah, you can find him on kevinchinart.com. You can check him out.
Chin check. Sweet chin music.
Wait, what was this?
Oh yeah, ignore that. Was a gem, sir.
Sorry, I was reading my own name, so I got distracted. Louis said something. He was like, "That was too Prometheus."
Gotcha.
But anyway, so moving on from StapleCon. Definitely, if you did not go this year, I'd highly recommend going next year. We might have a booth. Depending on, I don't know, a lot of factors, really. Time off. Well, I guess it's just one factor. Having that weekend off.
Yeah. I did want to mention one more thing.
You would.
It's more of a gloat, I guess.
Uh-huh.
I won some art from the One of Us guys.
Oh, yeah.
We were mentioned earlier. And it was really cool. It was a Cornetto trilogy poster that one of their buddies had made. His name's Zach Martin with a CH, not a CK. And you can actually check his stuff out at... it sounds weird. It's XAQ, as in ZachIndustries.com. But the art was really great, and I'm glad I won it. And it's really cool. It's like 6 heads. One of... well, 3 of them are of Simon Pegg, and the other 3 are of Nick Frost, illustrated from each of their... roles in the 3 movies: Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and World's End. So I'm just looking for a frame so I can hang it up. And then I missed out on the freaking art. He was like, "Hey, if you're still here, come back to the booth because the artist wanted to give you a free sketch that we were actually supposed to give you in the first place."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, so I may or may not ever actually get that."
You should have told him to sketch it for you and be like, somehow I'll get this.
Yeah, send it to me.
In this life or the next, I'll get that sketch.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's all I wanted to mention was check out Zach Martin at xaqindustries.com. Really cool dude, and I'm thankful that I won the art. And also check out oneofus.net.
One of us. All right, and one more for reals
one
this
more.
time.
For
Okay,
realsies.
unless there's another one after this. But also check out Tony Shelton. She did this really cool BioShock Infinite art.
That's who it was. That's who
Yeah.
did that bookmark. Is that who we were mentioning earlier?
Yeah. Well, no, it's talking about somebody else.
Okay,
'Cause
that's
remember-
who I thought you meant.
Okay. I can just kind of have like where they were positioned, like in my head, because I can't remember exactly their faces and their names. But yeah, she had this really cool one of I forget the character because I haven't played the game in like a year, but I think it was Elizabeth.
Elizabeth.
And, yeah, and it's just really beautiful
It's
artwork.
gorgeous. It looks like old school, like 1940s propaganda.
Yeah,
And it kind of the same kind of propaganda art that you find in the actual game.
yeah.
So it looks really dope. I like it.
It's back in the day when certain folk couldn't sit with certain folk. That's the type of art that was. No, I'm just kidding. But but it was really cool. She was really awesome. It's one of those things where it's like I don't really buy prints. Like I appreciate the art. I love it. I just don't have any. There's nothing for me to do with it, you know.
Yeah.
Like I wish I had like a giant art gallery and I could just buy prints with like all of my money. But like I saw it the first day and then I came back around and I came back around again. Like I just need to buy this because I'm gonna regret it if I don't.
Yeah.
And then I found out that she actually has it like on her site. I'm like, I could just save the JPEG and.
But it has my wallpaper.
Yeah. Because I was actually thinking that I was like, I'll just rather use these as wallpapers. But I know it was cool. You know, that kind of was one of my main things for this con, as opposed to most of the other cons, was like I took $100 out of the ATM. I was like, I'm going to spend this money on local artists, you know, because like almost everyone I got into a conversation with, I found something to buy, even if it was just like $2 or $5. It's just like, you know, I don't know, because I just love the idea of like, you know, supporting, you know, the local artists that, you know, they don't have, you know, corporate overlords that are funding their artistic endeavors. They're doing it right now because they love it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was really cool. Also, one more plug. I bought this really cool necklace. You shut up. Shut your faces.
One more thing.
I bought a really cool necklace. It was like a PB&J necklace. And on one side it had like a little peanut butter icon. The other side had a bluebird, which is like my logo kind of. But it was really cool. It said PB&J, and I bought it for my wife. It was like $10 off of a Roku robot, who's also synonymous with Jen Hart's art. So
oh, yeah.
Definitely go and support those two endeavors.
Do it. Do it now.
Do it.
Kelly says, oh my God, Zach, he's amazing. He's my favorite Ghostbuster. Heart. And it says, is he the one you needed the sketch from? I can link you on Facebook. Smiley face.
I think it's him. If it was ZACH, because you put ZK.
Well.
CK.
I guess you can send the link, and if he has his art on Facebook, we can figure it out. Winky face. Thanks, Luis, for correcting me. And thanks, Kelly, for potentially reuniting artist and art consumer. But we're going to get into the news, unless we have one more thing.
No, we're good. We're good. Continue.
Nice. Yeah, so basically... the Mary Sue put out some news that we can expect a Spider-Man film every year.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because just imagine, like, you don't get to see Andrew Garfield like once every 2 or 3 years.
Is it going to be done with like Lord of the Rings quality and just as good?
Well, if you saw the first one, that should answer your question.
No.
I don't know. The only thing that I'm actually excited about for this, because okay, I know they're making this Venom movie, and then they want to do the Sinister Six, so maybe these count as the Spider-Man universe movies, to be kind of like the Marvel movies. And I remember there was a rumor that Andrew Garfield was not going to be in Spider-Man 4, so I'm hoping that in Spider-Man 3 he'll die, and then they'll bring Miles Morales, and there'll be no more Andrew Garfield, and the world will be right, and then butterflies will sprout out of rainbows, and it'll be beautiful, very beautiful. So that's what I'm hoping, because like I like the world of Amazing Spider-Man. I just hate Andrew Garfield, and I hate his version of Spider-Man because he's such a douche. Yeah. So I don't know, and then we can finally get Donald Glover, and he can play Spider-Man, and the internet will erupt with rage, and I'll just sit there smiling. And they'll cry out for Donald Glover to never be Spider-Man, and I'll whisper, too bad. So I don't know. Carrie Figueroa says Garfield is okay as Peter, but he's a good Spidey. And he says I'm wrong about Andrew Garfield. Oh, wait, no. That's Luis saying I'm wrong. And Luis, you're wrong. So, yeah. Can't argue that.
Gentlemen, we've gone tit for tat on who is good or bad. Let's just let it die.
Luis says I'm never wrong. Except then.
Well, it's kind of true. Because he's corrected us so many times.
As far as knowledge goes, yes. Luis is like an encyclopedia of knowledge. Which actually brings me to something. But I don't have it prepared. So I'm going to keep talking to kill the silence. But in the meantime, if my links would come up. So we all know that, well, most of us know, that in the next coming, I guess, year or so, that they're going to be having the Marvel series is on Netflix, and it's going to be Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and Daredevil.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not the Ben Affleck Daredevil that we all loved. But but basically Disney's going to spend $200 million to film it in New York. Yeah.
All 4 of them, or just Daredevil?
For all 4 of them. It's going to be, $200 million over 3 years for filming 4 series.
Still a lot.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's hard to say because it's like on one hand, that's like big Hollywood budget movie money, but it's also for 4 series. So I don't know when you chop it all up 4 times, you know.
Well, it's $50 million per series. That sounds about right, I would say.
That's the thing. I have no frame of reference for how much they spend on most series. It's like how much. I want to know how much they're spending on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to put that in perspective. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. seems like they're spending like $10 an episode. So maybe this one will actually not look like garbage. Louis says I just snorted laughing. Damn you, Prometheus. And I guess he's excited about all 4 of them. But speaking about Luis's encyclopedic knowledge. And obviously, Facebook, you're going to screw me and be really slow with loading because I had the perfect segue. But anyway, I'll just go ahead and tell you guys. So we have a contest we're going to be running to test your knowledge. And the prize will be the coveted, I guess it'll be a digital copy of the first volume of Uncanny X-Men. I want to say it's the current, not like the first volume, like the one from like the 60s, but the first volume of the current Uncanny X-Men. Luis, correct me if I'm wrong. And so we have a trivia question, which I will get to you at some point when my computer decides to cooperate. And okay, yeah, Luis is correcting me. Yeah, so it's current. Okay, so Luis says with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they shoot on location, so they must have a big budget. Well, they must spend it all on Agent Coulson's hair product that does not show. You know what they should do? Instead of shooting on location, they should go and hire some writers that are good and some actors that are also good, and then they can actually have a good show, and people will actually give a crap about it, then they won't get canceled. That's just me. I mean, I'm not a big fancy Hollywood producer, but I mean, I know. I got a little bit of common sense. So, damn you, Facebook.
Yeah, I never saw Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. There's a lot of hype for it, but I just never...
Yeah. It was one of those things where it's like, when it was coming out, like, everyone was hyped. It's like, oh, man, this show's going to be so great. You watch the first episode, and then you just kind of cry yourself to sleep. Because it was so disappointing. Like, everyone who's not Agent Coulson was just lame. Like, there was nothing to him. It's just like watching any generic show you would see on Fox.
Yeah, and on top of that, he's now not doing himself any favors as far as fans go.
Okay, here we go. So here's the question. Drum roll, please. I don't know what type of drums you play, but it's like
a weird dog.
But the question is, which famous actress was offered a spot in X-Men in the year, the X-Men movie filmed in the year 2000, or I guess came out in the year 2000, but turned it down? And what was the character? I wish we had like Jeopardy music. We'll do that next time.
Bum, 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 bum. I got it. Are we asking the question now and we're waiting for someone to answer?
Well, we're going to go on, and as people form their answers.
I had some good Jeopardy music.
Okay, well, get the Jeopardy music ready.
It's ready.
Is it in your head?
Are you not looking at it?
I'm looking at X-Men the
No, don't show it!
Spoiler! Sir, what is X-Men the
Moving on. Moving on.
I saw your dreams. Now they're under my foot, crushed.
Like all the other ones. Thanks.
Hey, it's called me Morpheus. The something of dreams and the Sandman comic that you haven't read yet.
I haven't, actually. I was sitting there. I finally got Volume 1 2 months ago.
Oh, yeah.
And I still haven't got around to reading it. I just got Superman Birthright.
Oh, yeah.
No. Yes. Was it Birthright or was it
right of birth?
No. I think it was a Grant
birth
Morrison.
certificate. Place of birth.
No, it wasn't. I don't think it was Birthright. It was. I mean, Birthright's the name of that one, but it was the other one.
Unexpected Pregnancy.
All-Star Superman. I think I ended up getting that one instead.
It's like completely different.
They're fucking Superman. It was one or the other. But I can't even remember which one I got. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, well, one has your favorite artist Frank Quietly and Grant Morrison.
Okay, it was Birthright.
Okay, well,
it was
there
Birthright.
You go.
Okay,
there you go.
It was not. I could have swore I had bought the What the fuck's wrong with me? I could have swore I bought the other one, but All-Star Superman, but.
Yeah, Luisa's Also Superman is freaking awesome.
I think I had asked Hibiki which one she wanted. I was like, of the two, which one would you actually sit down and read? And she was like, give me Birthright. I was like, okay.
She wasn't enamored with Quiet Lee's art?
No, it wasn't that. I think just the origin aspect of it appealed to her more, rather than like, because I believe All-Star Superman is pretty much like the bucket list starring Superman.
Yeah, it's pretty much like he's dying or something, because Luthor tricks him.
Yeah.
And he's, overcharged. He has, too much solar energy. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't have any Sunny D. Because that's solar energy, too. And so, he's just trying to do, all the good he can do before he, fades away. I don't know. Before he goes into another healing coma, I guess.
Yeah.
But I saw the movie they made, and it's really good. It was one of the few, because I never liked Superman. I still think he's kind of a lame character, but I saw All-Star Superman, and I saw Superman versus Louis, help me out here. I forgot what it's called, but it's versus something.
Versus Batman?
No, it's a group, and they're all have superpowers, and they're this new breed of superheroes where they actually kill. It's we can't be letting these villains get away. We gotta kill them. So the whole world is
they're a PG version of something Garth Ennis made up.
Yeah. So they become pretty much rock stars. And was yeah,
the elite.
Superman. The elite, yeah. I wanted to say the extremists, but I was that's Marvel. But yeah, so pretty much they start getting more popular, and it was really cool because it was okay, Superman could easily just beat the hell out of them and kill them or whatever, but he can't because that wouldn't prove the point. The whole thing is he's pretty much battling a PR campaign. So it puts Superman in a position where he can't punch his way out of the situation. It's all pretty much winning the hearts and minds of Metropolis. So I was all right, this is cool. Yeah. It's putting him in a completely different situation that all of his super strength has nothing to do with. And so basically, they're getting more popular than him. Everyone's no, we don't need Superman or whatever. And, well, spoilers for those. Actually, I won't spoil it, but that's pretty much the premise, and it's really cool. You should check it out. Yeah. And one of the guys just has, the most amusing, line, because, he shoots, a blast at somebody, and he's there's no way he could have survived that. That's the power of, 40 million suns all exploding at once. It's yeah, I think that would destroy everything. But it was pretty funny. Yeah, I would recommend that. So it's Superman can be a really compelling character when he's written well. So, write him well, Zack Snyder.
Boo-hoo.
Yeah. So anyway, this is news that I thought was really interesting because of those of you who listen, I love Game of Thrones. I love my Breaking Bad, but I love my Game of Thrones. And so I was so bummed when Guardians announced that Batista was going to be, I always forget his name, Drax, the Destroyer. Yeah. And I was but I wanted Khal Drogo, which some of you might know him as Jason Momoa. I know him as Khal Drogo, and he will always be Khal Drogo with his 100 horse lords coming through, take over Westeros, and they will have what is theirs by fire and blood. But anyway, so he explains. Shut up, Luis. He would have been a good Drax. He would have been the best Drax. He's my Drax. I'm not glad that you're glad he turned it down. But anyway. Now we know why. So basically, it's so sad. So it's okay, it would have been one thing if he was just I don't want to do this character. I'm not interested in this franchise. But it's because he wanted to do Stargate Atlantis.
I thought he had already done Stargate Atlantis.
Well, I didn't actually bother to read the article.
Yeah.
So maybe he did that. But I
think that's former work.
Okay. This is what it was. He was saying he was on Stargate Atlantis for 4 years, playing a similar character called Ronan, who was an alien who didn't say much and grunted. It's I've been there, done that. Whether people have seen it or not, you want to stretch. Okay, so basically he's just I already did that, but on a show that no one really cared about. But he could have been Drax. He could have. Come on, Guardians looks so much fun. I think it would have been awesome if he was in there. But I don't know, but it's nice to know at least what happened, because before it seemed like they were just rumors, and it's when they casted Batista, it's okay, maybe these rumors are just unsubstantiated, 90% of them are, but yeah. I guess they really were actually talking to him about doing it, so...
Luis, I didn't know you had money like that, son. Luis said he paid him to turn it down.
Yeah, and then he also said he loved Stargate Atlantis. I don't know, I'm picking on the show because they stopped my dream from happening. I never actually seen it. I can't remember. No, it's Stargate SG-1. That's the one that had MacGyver. So that's really the only one I'm familiar with. Because, come on, it's MacGyver. MacGyver can do no wrong. So, I don't know. I'm glad Batista, only because, I guess Kevin Fergalicious or whatever was talking about how they were actually impressed with his auditioning. It wasn't just like, well, we lost one big guy, we need another big guy.
Yeah.
So, hopefully he'll do it justice, and hopefully this will be like his breakout role, and maybe he can actually be taken seriously as an actor.
Yeah.
I love the level of confidence in there.
I don't know. I've seen like little bits here and there of the Man with the Iron Fists. Well, first off, the movie's not that great, especially for a movie with Russell Crowe in it.
Yeah, but it's also a movie with a RZA in it. It balances out.
Yeah. That's
like
man.
Dark Matter.
And just kind of segueing, a momentary segue, if anyone's seen the trailer for The Protector Part 2.
Oh, yes! Dude, I was so hyped for that movie. Okay.
There's like a bunch
Another segue, hold on.
I have a bunch of martial arts buddies that saw it, and there were like a couple in particular like posted it on Facebook.
They're all excited.
They're all excited. But I was like, this looks awful. And then like the RZA put his tramp stamp all over it.
All right.
We about to put it at your face like
So people that knew what we were talking about. Okay, so Tony Jaa, he came in with the breakout role on Bach. It was brutal. I just remember, I guess the best way for me to describe it, because some random people at, one of those, those little shops where they sell, all the bootleg martial arts DVDs, some dude was showing his friend, he's like, dude, Tony Jaa is like Jackie Chan on PCP. So that's, how I described everybody, But
it's like, going back now, it's like, no, Jackie Chan's still Jackie Chan on
Jackie Chan's still Jackie Chan. But at the time, I was ready to believe anything.
Yeah. That's something you want to say as a marketing play to get people into Tony Jaa, of course.
But it's but Ambach and Protector were just awesome. They were brutal. It's like, how many stuntmen did he kill in this movie? It was so cool. And it was no wire work. It was doing all his own stunts. So it was following the footsteps of Jackie Chan and just adding his own twist to it. So you're like, okay, I can't wait to see this guy do more. He did Ambach 2 and 3, and let's not speak of those movies. So now he's doing The Protector 2, and you're like, okay, this was great. Simple premise. Stole something from Tony Jaa. He's going to kick everyone's ass till he gets it back. So you don't need anything else. And they're like, nah, we got Hollywood money now.
Yeah.
So we're going to put all these crazy special effects and wire work. It's like, I don't want to see this with Tony Jaa. Okay. So one of my favorite movies is The Matrix, and it's all special effects and wire work.
Yeah.
But it's Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves can't do martial arts. I mean, I guess he takes Tai Chi.
Movie kung fu.
Yeah.
Movie kung fu.
But I mean, it's he's not known for being this incredible martial artist on screen. He had to have Yen Wu Ping, one of the best martial arts choreographers, to look somewhat believable, I guess.
To look good.
Yeah.
In Will Smith terms, make it look good.
But Tony Jaa, what made him so great, he was just he didn't need any of that. He could be in a backyard choreographing a fight, and it looks amazing. And it's now it looks so watered down. Because it's just I forgot, there's a scene, I think, where a bus is coming towards him. He does this weird jump out of the way. It's just I don't
Yeah, there was
see that.
and then they ducked under a train.
That's what it was. That's when I was done. I didn't even
and
get
then there was
the
typical flying off a high point from an explosion before it engulfs you. I was just looking at all that. And it's you see all the wire works from other people. I'm pretty sure Jaws is still doing his own stunts. At least from what it looked like. Because other people were doing the weird jump flying kind of things. Where okay, obviously that 10-foot jump is wire work.
Yeah.
But then, he's doing all his own martial arts stuff. So okay, everything looks pretty grounded, even his jumps and stuff.
Yeah.
But I have no words. I've got no words. I was going in because I saw a couple of people on Facebook.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm hype. The wire work kind of blew me off, but it's kind of expected for a Hollywood budget now. But it looks super cool. And I watched it and I was just like, thank God the Raid Part 2 is coming out soon.
Right?
Because I am not going to see this garbage.
Yeah, I'm just completely turned off. To me, that to me is the official movie death of Tony Jaa. I'm done with him.
Yeah.
It's he finally makes his comeback, and this is what you give me?
Yeah.
You could be a superstar, and you blew it! So I don't know. I'm disappointed. So, whatever. Tony Jaa, do your thing. I wish him the best of success, but you can have that success without me, and I know your heart's going to be empty because of it. So going back to Batista,
yeah,
I didn't think Batista was that bad in Man in the Iron Fist because he didn't do anything. He literally turned into bronze and just beat people up.
Yeah.
So
the kind of role Momoa's avoiding. So pretty much any role that requires people like Momoa to be in it. We're like, oh well, we want Jason Momoa. I was like, oh well, he's not doing that. We'll then call Batista.
You know what's funny though? It's like, okay, so he turns down Guardians of the Galaxy because he didn't want to play the strong, grunty character, right?
What happened?
But he played Conan.
Yeah, but that was like 3 years ago.
But I still think that was still around the time he was doing Stargate. Luis?
Yeah. I think as time passed, and then he's already done his role as Khal Drogo by that point as well. So I think at this point in his career, he's like, yeah, I think I'm done with that kind of role. And considering Guardians of the Galaxy was casting like maybe this time last year, for all we know, I'm pretty sure he might have already hit that point in his career where he was like, I want more of a speaking role. I don't want to keep getting roped into doing this type of character anymore.
Well, Dothraki is still a language, and it is a beautiful.
It's shut up. First of all, shut up.
A crown.
Second of all,
king.
he didn't talk as much anyway.
Yeah, he did.
Not a whole lot. Come on.
He practically...
And then he died.
He practically did Shakespeare,
He died in like 6 episodes.
Spoilers!
He died... I'm pretty sure he died before Ned Stark did.
No.
And even then,
not.
Ned Stark had way more
As you know, I think
roles.
he might have actually died
Yeah,
before.
I'm telling you.
Well, he lives in my heart,
No,
right?
I think he died in the second season.
He's the moon of my light.
He died in the
sun
second
and
season.
my stars.
He died in the second season.
Okay,
but he still didn't have as many speaking. I think his word quota is like, for every one word, Ned Stark probably had like 16.
He had as many lines as Ellen Payne. But Luis said it was after Stargate. So there you go. He already played that type of character. He's like, oh, I know Conan. That's going to really make my career.
Yeah.
Saw how that happened. So Momoa...
I think, well, I mean, at that point, that was his like big movie.
Yeah, it was so big that no one saw it and everyone hated it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so that was like the gamble. Like, well, this movie could make or break my career. I'm going to take the jump.
But you would think he'd be like, all right, let me get back into Hollywood with a movie that's going to do well.
If you look at it this way, like, Conan was one of those movies that helped form Arnold's career.
Yeah.
Along with Terminator.
Yeah.
So you see that as a young, buff actor, and you're like, well, they want to offer me the Conan movie, or I got the role somehow. So this movie, this is the legendary Arnold role. This movie could make or break my career. I'm going to go for it, You're going to go balls to the wall, of course.
But he can't fill Arnold's singlet.
He can, but I'm having trouble trying to justify that. I'm saying if you were in that position, you were given that kind of legendary role, to being cast in a role for a movie, a movie remake, I guess. But nonetheless, it was a movie that helped shape a big star's career. You're looking at that with that same aspect. Of course, you're going to go all for it, regardless of what stereotype you've been thrown into.
I would have followed the rule of thumb that lightning does not strike twice, even though technically it does physically.
Yeah,
but and metaphorically it does not. So I would have been like, all right, remakes usually are garbage, and I'm not going to be a part of one. And then they're going to write me a check, and I'm going to be like, all right, I'm going to hit the gym, but I'm not going to be happy about it. So I don't begrudge him, but I just feel like here's your other. I guess I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy was like his time to like reintroduce himself into Hollywood and be like, hey, I can be in good movies. And he's like, no, I don't want to do that. I've already done that. I mean,
yeah, I definitely see that. I mean, I guess that's my point. I'm just trying to justify why like he didn't choose Guardians of the Galaxy. Doesn't mean I agree with it, because once I found out, I read that article back on a Friday, I mean, and when I did read that, I was just like, but why? It's not like you're doing anything much greater, and like I've yet to see him, in any other, being promoted in any other like big movie at this point. So it's like, why not just take that role, take the money, and then be able to sit back and like, all right, now I can, I'm sitting on some money. I can be choosy with my roles.
Yeah, because to me, it's like once you're in a Marvel movie, you're pretty much set. Like you're going to be a bigger star, and then you can be like, oh, okay, let me do the art movie.
Well, not only that, but I mean,
Shakespeare.
Who's to say that
I bite my thumb at thee.
Do you bite your thumb, sir? Do you bite your thumb at me?
I bite my thumb.
But do you bite your thumb at me, sir?
I bite my thumb. I don't know what comes next. Give me the line. I'm used to grunting.
It's No, I do not bite my thumb at you, sir, but I do bite my thumb.
And then they pull out pistols and start
pull
shooting in
out
front of the gas station.
And like the bullets are hitting each other. Boom, 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 boom. It was like, oh my god. Your
Shakespeare starts turning in his grave.
Yeah.
And Leo's like, can I at least get an Oscar for this?
And then
Claire
Inception
Danes whispered, no.
Yeah. And then Inception, Leo just does that little blink. That one-eyed blink from Inception, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The one they use on all the memes.
Oh, yeah.
Over-explanation. I've ruined it. Continue. No, but, what I was saying, like, shit, what was I saying?
I don't know, but let me go to the chat real quick while you're trying to remember.
Okay.
Louis says, the saying is lightning does not strike twice in the same place. That's what I meant, but I was trying to hold back my throat from exploding. But, I beg to differ, because in X-Men the Animated Series, I've seen Storm blast the same spot with lightning, so therefore, scientifically, that's been disproved.
Well, she controls it, so that's very different.
That is true. She commands the elements! Oh, man. I want to see that Storm, like on TV, or not on TV, on the movies.
So I guess just to finish my point...
You had a point?
Yeah. Apparently.
I thought I was just rambling.
You know, like, he could have done the role the way they wanted him to, and then by the next movie, you know, if they wanted him back, he could have done some kind of... I don't know, who's to say he couldn't... Smiley face. Jay, I believe what you were saying is one... What an ad. I'm not even going to finish that. And I won't respond to it.
Go on.
But who's to say that, you know, once they want to do Guardians of the Galaxy 2, that he can't renegotiate contract, ask for a broader speaking role. And on top of that, who's to say he wouldn't deliver a great enough performance to where, like, hey, you know what, let's give him a Drax movie, or like a Drax and Raccoon movie, or you know, just something to where, like, I'm sure he would do good enough to where, like, you know what, I think we can venture off and cut this out and have a solo movie.
Yeah.
You know? Because, I mean, they did the same thing with Elektra.
Yeah,
where, you know, it's like, that movie was awful, but it was just like, oh, well, people, you know, people love Jennifer, and people want to see an Elektra movie. And for all intents and purposes, as awful as both those movies were, I actually did enjoy Elektra very much. Mostly because, you know, you get to kind of see Bob Sapp in it as well.
Oh, yeah.
But the movie wasn't bad. The action was certainly better than anything that was in Daredevil.
You didn't like the strobe light fight?
I didn't like the organ jumping fight. But yeah, I mean, Elektra was
both like killing dudes with paper clips.
Yeah, there was like that crazy chick. I forgot what her power was.
yeah, right. MacGyver runs in. That's my stick.
And then there was like the person with the tattoos that attacked.
I don't even remember.
I think that was Bob Sapp. I don't know. And then there was a Bob Sapp character, but
I couldn't see because the tears were still in my eyes.
I don't know. It was better than Daredevil, and the fact that they were like they saw that there was quality in, or maybe not quality.
I was about to say there was money to be made.
It's a wrong choice of words. I understand that.
Louis says that movie was horrible.
It was horrible, but it was better than Daredevil.
Yeah.
And actually, I think I want to say it made more money.
That's like saying like getting shots better than being stabbed. I mean, you're still gonna die either way. One might be slightly less painful. But I was gonna say, like, I don't know. I think like Momoa could have parlayed, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy into doing like Khal Drogo in space.
Yeah.
And he's riding like space horses,
dude.
And he's leading them across the narrow sea. It's like the narrow asteroid belt.
Yeah.
So they can reclaim
across
Westeros.
the barren wasteland of the Milky Way galaxy.
But I think most likely the most realistic thing that would have happened if they ended up making a Guardians 2, they just would have recasted him as Don Cheadle. Him and Terrence Howard would just sit there just crying to each other.
This is my spaceship. Get your own.
He'd be like, yeah, you know, it's like, actually, no, to be honest, I helped Robert Downey Jr. get this gig to begin with. Or no, it'd be like, for him, it'd be like, I helped Chris Pratt become Star-Lord, and then he doesn't even call me back for 3 months. I mean, well, we're still good friends.
Okay, Luis said I'll take DD over Elektra. Well, you know what? I'll take the Greek mythology reference over DD any day.
What do you mean, double Ds or just DD? Like DDR?
Like Daredevil.
Oh.
Well.
I guess neither of you know.
Now you lost me there, buddy. Because I wouldn't. I don't know. I never actually
still have Luis. So.
I don't know. Both of those movies. I mean, to me, it's I don't know. I can't even pick one or the other because I just don't care enough. Like I have no desire to revisit either movie.
Yeah.
So
neither do I.
I think I'll pick 24 on Netflix over both of those. Louis says Double D's 2. Why not? All right, well, moving out of the realm of Marvel to the realm, well, it's to another Disney property, Star Wars. So apparently they cast some dude named Adam Driver to play the villain in Star Wars. I'm guessing he's going to be some type of Sith or something.
Huh.
I have no idea who Adam Driver is. So, okay, well, I guess he was in the show Girls, which people from Girls seem to be getting casted a lot in movies as of late. But I've never seen Girls.
Oh, he's that odd-looking fellow.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. They haven't revealed exactly who he's going to be.
I think so. I heard mentioned that he might be someone Darthy. Someone on the Darth side.
Jenny McDarthy.
Heh.
But, okay, well, basically, the rumors that I had read is, okay, so the movie's going to center around, Han and Leia's kid, and also, I guess, Luke is going to somehow procreate with his lightsaber and have a kid as well. And I think it's going to be Han and Leia's kid that's going to be the one that turns to the dark side, so maybe he's going to be their child.
Huh.
And
Well, he certainly looks nothing like either of them.
That's why he went to the dark side. It's like, oh, come on, I wanted the Harrison Ford looks.
Like, I hate you, Dad. I know.
yeah, right. No, get off my Millennium Falcon. He just boots him off. No. But, I don't know. The Star Wars movies are really interesting to me. It's like, they have so much potential. I just really hope that they do it right this time.
Yeah.
I just think it's funny how a lot of people are like worried, like, oh my god, like Disney has it, it's out of the hands of George Lucas. Like there's like that camp, and then everyone else is like, oh my god, it's in Disney's hands, it's out of the hands of George Lucas.
Yeah.
It's like finally.
You know, it's just so funny because I don't understand like the hate that about Disney having the franchise. It's like, oh, you mean the same people that put out Toy Story and the recently beloved Frozen movie? Like, all these great movies that are coming out, it's like, oh, you mean this good movie, and then this other good movie, and this other good movie that came out recently? It's like, I can't think of a recent bad Disney movie that had, like, the Disney mark, other than maybe, like, the last Pirates movie.
Oh, God. The last 3 Pirates movies, you mean?
Well, I mean, I haven't seen the third one.
No,
I only saw the first, second, and fourth.
I was done after the third one.
I like the second. I think the second one was The Curse of the Black Pearl. That one had Jeffrey Rush in it.
That was the first one.
No. Okay, well, whatever. There was the first one,
Jack Sparrow.
and then the second one had. All I know is the second one had Jeffrey Rush.
Ah.
No, wait. The first one had him too. The second one, no. The second one had the squid dude, right?
That was the first one. That was Davy Jones of the Monkees.
No, the
thought that was the second one.
The squid dude wasn't in the second one.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
I think Jeffrey Rush
guy.
was the undead pirate in the first one.
Oh, okay.
And then the second one was they were trying to get the. Oh man, what was it?
Davy Jones' Locker?
Yeah, Davy Jones' Locker.
That's right.
Yeah, and then the fourth one, all I remember not liking it, and I also remember there was no Orlando Bloom, and I was kind of sad about that. I was like, "Where's my bloom and onion?"
Yeah, I want my onion bloom right now. I don't know. The third one, all I remember was like there's this trippy scene where like Jack Sparrow's tripping out, and there's like these giant crabs, and is this really weird?
It's a metaphor.
Yeah, probably. He was itching the rest of that movie, itching to play a better character. But I don't know. I kind of like to get your opinion, CJ, on Star Wars. We kind of discussed this before the podcast started. Like, what do you think? What are your expectations for the movies?
Yeah, it could be like any direction really. Like, but I think like Star Wars in general has like a huge like fan base. You have to get it right.
Oh yeah,
because like some people they like the original trilogy, and like for the new like trilogy episodes 1, 2, and 3, like there are a lot of fans that don't like it. Mostly just for episode 1. They'll say like that new trilogy got better as it went on. But like this like new ones like episodes. I think they're gonna do a whole new trilogy.
Yeah,
episodes 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah,
so it could. Like really in a whole new like direction almost, but still have to follow the canon a little bit.
What I hope they do, because supposedly there's something where they're talking about like they hired some people, I guess, to go through all the Star Wars continuity, like the books, the games, and the TV shows, and choose what's gonna be canon and what's not gonna be canon. So I'm hoping they're just like, remember that one, episodes 1 through 3? Yeah, that's not canon anymore. That happened. That was in another galaxy, further away, and that never happened. So, I mean, we can dream. I doubt they'd do that, but that would be awesome.
Yeah, because I remember them talking about they were going to axe out a lot of the Dark Horse comics.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know why, but
They were too great.
yeah, I didn't understand why not just keep letting Dark Horse handle that, but I guess obviously because they want Marvel to take over.
Yeah.
If and when Marvel actually does.
They want Bendis to write them.
Oh, dude. Well, you know what? I don't even care. I don't even know why I would care, because I've never read a Star Wars comic in my
Yeah, but
life.
when the Star Wars crosses over with the Guardians of the Galaxy, then you'll care.
Yeah.
You have to buy a 10-issue
Oh,
arc.
shit. Shazmouth. Yeah. I remember reading one Star Wars novel back in the 6th grade, and I couldn't even tell you what it was.
I remember reading one back in the 6th grade, and it was Shadows of the Empire with Dash Randar.
Oh,
It was
I remember
awesome.
playing the game Shadows of the Empire. But
Yeah, book was better.
I'm sure it was.
I never actually played all the game.
Well, the game was awesome.
I'm sure
dude.
they're on par.
It's been so long. Nintendo 64.
But I wish they would make that movie, because that book was all pretty much. I mean, to be honest, Dash Randar is pretty much this Han Solo with red hair. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty much was the same character. And there's like the Emperor is pretty much some green guy or something that wasn't Yoda.
He was kind of like a mercenary / commando version of Han Solo. I wouldn't say
Yeah.
he's Han Solo with red hair.
But I mean, he has like that cocky attitude.
He's got the cocky attitude.
He's a
but
scruffy-looking nerd
he was a
fucker.
lot more hands-on. Han Solo was more like the Air Force version.
Yeah.
And whereas Dash Randar was kind of like the Marine version
in the
of
mud.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta kill a man after you look him in the eye.
Yeah. Dash Randar was like fucking Chris Redfield with all the fucking different guns and weapons and gadgets and shit that he had. He's like, I'm going in.
What about Dash Randar versus zombies? That'd be awesome.
Dude, what are zombies in the Star Wars verse?
Yeah.
Like the Darth people, whatever.
Darth zombie.
The Darth, they just had instead of army of clones, they had an army of like zombie
That would be
clone
awesome.
zombies.
Yeah.
A bunch of undead Jango Fetts running around. Now that is how you spice up a Star Wars
The D
franchise.
is silent. I think the lightsaber would be the perfect weapon. Like a katana in the real world is a perfect weapon.
Yeah.
/ machete, depending on your poison. But a lightsaber versus zombie, like, you're just gonna hack that thing up. Like, that is
Yeah.
perfect. And listen, I don't know if they...
With like no effort, because it's just
Yeah.
gonna slice through.
Yeah.
Like a hot knife through
You can just
butter.
hold it out and just wave your arm around.
Yeah. It's like they just melt.
It's like, how
in
has
front of
someone
you.
done this before? Like, that's such a badass concept.
It's a great
I know.
idea.
Like, I really want... Like, do lightsabers ever, like, run out? Like, are they powered on hope?
Maybe like the Jedi ones.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
it's like the Green Lantern ring is powered on willpower.
I think that was the whole base of A New Hope.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they had like that one lightsaber that was blue.
What happened to the green one?
I don't know.
I thought they just like... I don't know, maybe it just has different, like, frequencies. Like, all they have to do is turn it. It's like, you know, when you used to have to, like, turn your TV to get the picture?
Yeah.
That's how you get the different lightsaber colors. And you turn it too far, it turns red.
That's
and
what that
like,
dial on
no! Yeah.
Not the dark side.
Yeah, I was just trying to get purple. Aww.
Maybe it just picks
I
up
wanna be
off
Sam
your
Jackson.
like emotions or something.
yeah, I guess maybe it's like a mood ring.
Ah,
So maybe he
yeah.
was feeling like... Because he was feeling, like, green with envy. That's why he was turning green. 'Cause he was Yoda.
I can't do this. You can do it. How do you do that?
Do or do not. There is no try.
He was like a toddler. It's like, green means go. I'm good.
Hopeless you are.
How did my face get?
Yoda just crushes himself with the X-Wing. It's like, I don't want to do this anymore. Too old to complete the training.
Living my days in silence, I will.
Louis says, in Knights of the Old Republic, the colors were connected to certain Jedi classes. So did he graduate when he got the green? Or was he, like, demoted? It's like, well, this was Obi-Wan's, and that was blue. But you kind of suck, so I'm going to give you the green. He's just, like, all sad.
Green means greenhorn.
He's like, I really would give you the yellow, but I'm fresh out, so... Remember when they made the video game, they added the yellow one. It's like, okay, at least the purple was in a movie. The green and blue were in the movie, and obviously the red. Yellow,
There was a yellow and an orange one, I think.
yeah, like they were freaking popsicles. It's like, all right, we just want to add new
Freaking rainbow
flavors.
pop.
Creamsicle.
yeah, right. You stab someone, these get ice cream on them.
Bluebell sponsored the game.
This is actually kind of delicious.
I mean, it's burning my insides, but it's good.
Louis said, not that type of class, Sentinel class, etc. So they were hunting mutants. I'm as far beyond mutant as they are beyond you. So I don't know. The only thing that gives me a little bit of pause with the Star Trek movies is J.J. Abrams, who's not a bad director at all, But it just kind of, I don't know, it just kind of seems weird to like have him jump over from Star Trek. Something about it, like even not being a huge fan of like either franchise, just like this shouldn't be happening. Like they should never cross streams.
Yeah.
It just feels like it's just going to affect the space-time continuum in a very negative way.
That's how they're all connected by J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Instead of 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon, it's 7 degrees of J.J. Abrams, and every one of them has a lens flare. So, moving on to other beloved directors.
I'm tired of Star Wars.
Or maybe tired of you, Star Wars is. So, yeah, moving on to other directors. Bryan Singer.
Oh.
He's talking about why he made X-Men.
Can we go back to Star Wars?
He's sounding off about why he made X-Men Days of Future Past. And James Cameron's time travel approval. I don't even know which one I want to start with. I'll just start with, okay, so basically he decided to do Days of Future Past to make me sad because originally it was going to be Matthew Vaughn, and it would have been incredible, and I would have loved it, and Bryan Singer had to ruin everything. He's just like the kid you don't invite to the party, and he shows up anyway, and you're like, oh, Bryan Singer, they're just going to make Superman movies. But anyway, so the aspect of time travel, which is funny because Agamemnon hates time travel, that's what attracted him to the thing. He's like,
okay. I do enjoy time travel stories, just not in Marvel and DC continuity. Unless it involves Rip Hunter, but yeah, no, okay, we'll just stay with that accurate statement. I do hate time travel stories, especially involving the X-Men and Avengers and anything having to do with Kang the Conqueror. I hate it.
Who the hell's Kang the Conqueror?
I'm not going to explain that.
Nah.
Well, I'll put a wiki link to it. I'll send it to you later.
I am Kane.
He's an Avengers villain who's
okay.
time traveler based.
For some reason, I just see like this like caveman looking dude time traveling.
No, he's got a purple face. He's got a purple outfit with a blue face and a weird helmet. Yeah,
I think I had like the toy of that somehow.
Yeah,
I never knew what it was. It's like, all right, the X-Men are gonna fight somebody good.
This guy looks like a douche. Wolverine's totally gonna chop him up.
Wolverine just slices his head off. Time for you to go to bed, bub, without supper. Louis said, Kane, not keg. Or Kanged.
Come on, we're missing dinner.
But, so I thought it was funny. Okay, so, for those of you that are familiar with Terminator, which should be everybody, and if not, go watch Terminator. So everyone knows that the timeline, there's the time travel in Terminator. Okay, it's a great movie, both of them. Third one, fourth one, come on.
It was fun. The fourth one was fun.
I didn't like, not
but
for
the story
me.
Kind of blew, but
I didn't have fun at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, anyways,
to me, it's like going to like a playground when you're a kid and there's no monkey bars. Like that was the fourth one for me.
I hated monkey bars. No arm strength. For me, it'd be like if there was no slide. If there's no twisty slide.
Okay, well, insert your own favorite playground equipment.
Yeah.
So, okay, but basically, so the whole thing is like, Kyle Reese goes back into time, and he ends up becoming John Connor's father, but somehow that doesn't make any sense because he would have had to go back into time for him to be born, but he's going back into time to save him, but he never would have been born had he not gone back into time. But had he gone back into time, that he would basically. It makes
that's why I hate time travel.
Basically, it makes absolutely no sense, but people accept it because it doesn't matter. You want to see Arnold shoot people, but Bryan Singer is like, all right, I'm doing a time travel story. I want to get the guy who knows about time travel. Let me go to James Cameron, who has the most convoluted and nonsensical time travel, and that's who you're going to get to be your consultant for time travel. Not, I don't know, I'm trying to think of other time travel stories. Anybody that at least has like some inkling of how time travel works? Even like Star Trek. Go to, I don't know, James T. Kirk.
Battle of the Atom.
Yeah, oh god.
How about the time traveler's wife?
Angela Lansbury.
She's back. Dun, 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 dun.
Terminator, but I barely know her. Nice. But so I just thought that was funny. But it's just like, I don't know. I mean, for one, I almost feel like Bryan Singer is like, well, now that I've consulted with James Cameron, that obviously means that no rules to time travel exist, and I can just do whatever I want.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm like, this is just adding on to the pile of things that have to do with this movie that are making me less and less excited. Like, I was, like, ecstatic when they announced the sequel, because I loved First Class. I'm like, they're probably, every gripe I had with First Class, I'm like, all right, they're going to make it better, and I'm going to love this movie. Like, I liked First Class, I'm going to love this one. And they're like, nope, Matthew Vaughn is out. I'm like, okay, maybe they'll get another young, up-and-coming director. It'll be cool. Bryan Singer's in. Okay, well, he's had 10 years to mature his game, bringing back the whole original cast. All right, well, maybe Cyclops isn't coming back. All right, well, the costumes are the same and they're crappy. All right, well, maybe Halle Berry's back. It's just like, you son of a bitch! What the fuck is wrong with you? It's like, I can't rationalize this away anymore. Luis is happy. He says, but come on, Iceman is back and is dating Kitty.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to get the cold shoulder when he finds out that she's not into dudes. He's going to try and have sex with her and she's just going to phase through him.
Yeah.
Like,
Ooh, don't touch me.
Sorry. I'm after Rogue.
She's going to start doing that weird, like, Will Smith dance where he starts, like, gyrating his body backwards every time he's trying to hug her. It's like, You know what the difference between me and you is, Iceman? I make this look good. And Iceman's just going to cry a tear and it's going to crystallize on his face. He's going to be like, that's cold, baby.
Oh, man. So, I don't know. Bryan Singer I really want to somehow be proved wrong in this movie to be really good. Like, I would love to do nothing more than to eat my own words. Delicious X-Men-y words that taste like X-Gene in my mouth. Louis says, Iceman says, but I make this cool. Boom! Oh, you just completely just no-sold that. It's like, oh yeah, humor.
Looks like it'll be a good movie based off the trailer.
The trailer actually did look... I'm glad you brought that up, because that's the one good thing they've released. With, when it's going back and forth, and, old Professor X talking to young Professor X. He's like, I don't want your future! I don't want your suffering! So,
that was young Professor... I still haven't seen it. I didn't even know...
You still haven't seen it?
I didn't know there was a
James
trailer.
McAvoy. Can the theatrics, Mr. McCoy.
Duly noted.
I don't know. Luis says, I love the accent. Thank you, Luis. I try. I'm sure you really mean James McAvoy, but I'll take it.
McAvoy.
Oh, how do you know? Did I say McAvoy again?
Yeah.
Did I say McCoy again?
No.
Did I say McDonald?
Well, now.
Luis says, how did you not know about the trailer?
There's just some things that just pass me by.
See, Luis, some people live on the surface.
One of them.
Agamemnon lives under a rock.
Yeah.
With Sean Connery.
You're the man now, dog. Living under the rock.
Oh, thanks, Luis. Said yours too. I love your compliments, and I appreciate them. They do the worst accent I've done all night. So, the Latino review, first of all, take that with a grain of salt. I don't know. It seems like when they first started putting out rumors, they were on the ball. And then it seems like ever since Batman vs. Superman, their rumors have just been all right, now they're just making shit up.
Yeah.
But supposedly, a new Matrix trilogy is in the works.
I saw that.
Yeah.
By the Wachowski brothers.
Yeah. But, okay. So, full disclosure.
Well, not brothers.
Yeah. Now siblings, yeah.
Okay.
So.
One of them's a chick now.
Yeah. Yeah, Lana. It's an Archer reference.
I'd like a coffee, please.
Well, at least be Larry, now it's Lana. But anyone who's been to my apartment, I love the first Matrix. I have a poster on my wall. It's like Fight Club and The Matrix are my 1A and 1B, and they're my favorite movies. Matrix Reloaded, I love it for eye candy. It is a beautiful movie. The fight scenes are awesome.
It's fun.
And it's you can excuse all the plot holes because you're well, it's literally only half of a movie.
Neo flies.
It's the third one is going to answer all the questions and tie everything up.
The third one could have literally been the redeeming factor for the second one.
Yeah.
Where the second one would have been okay, well, the second one's definitely the weakest, but that one's the all-action one. You watch the first one for all its cinematic glory and all the reference to it, I guess. And then the second one you watch because it's all action. It appeals to everyone. Yeah. Anyone can watch it. And then the third one was supposed to, wrap it all up nicely and put a bow on it, and you would be happy and be wow, that was just maybe not the perfect ending. I mean, we all deserved the perfect ending for having to sit through the whole thing, but it just didn't do it.
It just wasn't a good ending at all. It was just instead of, it's what I like to call the Lindelof effect, where instead you're all right, I got one movie to end this in. Let me get all these plot threads and put them to a conclusion. Instead they're you know what would be even better? than bringing this to a conclusion. Let's put more plot threads in this movie, and let's forget about all the plot threads from the first one. Like, I know in particular, like, the Merovingians, like, his whole thing is like, I need the Eye of the Oracle. Third movie? They don't even mention it. The whole first movie, I need those access codes to Zion. The Sentinels are like, nah, we're just gonna bust shit up and just walk right in there. It's just like, come on, did you guys even watch your own movies?
Yeah.
So anyway,
where do you input the access codes to Zion?
Maybe
they live in dirt.
Maybe the access codes are like their little lasers.
They have huge. They have huge orgy parties. You know, they're heathens. Like, where's the high tech crap where you have to infiltrate a fucking access code?
They just have like a control panel. Just
none of it made sense. They have like all these like low grade mechs. Like,
okay.
they were probably like construction mechs. They're like, we'll just put these huge guns on them.
That's probably what it was. That's the thing that pissed me off even more. Okay, so they know the one thing that destroys the robots are EMP blasts.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, so we can... I mean, couldn't they just strategically place EMP devices all around all of Zion? And so they're like, let's have mechs. Okay, mechs are cool. Mechs can be, useful. We've seen Gundams. I've seen Exo Squad. We've seen Pacific Rim. They can be useful. But let's not cover all of our vital human organs when we're going against giant pieces of machinery, so they can just rip us out in like seconds. It's like, why did you even need the mech? You would have been just as useless with just a regular gun.
Yeah, unless you had distance, which clearly nobody ever did.
And then on top of that, they had like that little like laser cannon that they used to destroy the damn things in the first one.
Yeah,
you can't put those on the mechs.
Like it's not like you needed to mount it or anything. Like they literally walk around with them. Yeah. It's a fucking rail gun. Like, what it was.
Invest your technology in that. I guess maybe that was the thing. Like the guys actually on Zion were like, yeah, this was like their weapons and R&D department. They're just having the orgies. They're like, yeah, we'll get back to that. They're not going to attack us. They don't have those access codes.
The worst part was also the funniest. Well, maybe not the funniest, but just more like the part where I looked and I was like, huh. Whereas when all the drones get into Zion, and Mouse. Well, no, was not Mouse. Who was that kid that like he's the one that let himself
I forgot what
out?
His name was.
Yeah, I was
skateboard kid.
Yeah, skateboard kid. Where he gets in that mech and he just starts shooting up. And when you first see it, you kind of get the little goosebumps in your arm, and you're just like, oh yeah, because it's like the standalone dude.
Yeah,
you know? It's like, yeah, do it. Where he just starts like raising the guns in the air, like like shooting. But, like, all these Sentinels are coming in like a freaking tube. It's like, none of them are branching out and trying to flank him. And there's literally hundreds of them coming through. And he's just hitting them all in this one sweet spot.
Yeah.
That, like, they don't... Like, well, let's just run into these bullets until we're all gone and let him look like the good guy.
It was literally like the Zach Brannigan strategy, where it's like his strategy was like when he's going against the kill boss, to just send wave after wave of person until they go to like their default kill limit and self-destruct. It's like, well, we're just going to keep sending Sentinels till they run out of bullets, and then we'll kill them. Yeah. We could go around, we could form another entrance. Nah, we have plenty of robots. They can just rebuild them anyway.
It didn't even have to be an entrance. It's just like the speed that they were coming in.
Yeah.
I felt like for only one mech shooting through that hole. Yeah. For one mech shooting through that hole, there's not enough bullets coming out per second to thwart off the droves of Sentinels that were coming through that hole.
Yeah.
You know, like that just didn't make sense to me. Especially considering like you have to assume at the rate that they're dropping that he's hitting every single one of those drones in the sweet spot.
Yeah.
You know, like the kill spot. Where, like, as soon as there's not, like, the dents where, like, they fall back or anything like that. Where, like, oh,
yeah, they're, like, all dying instantly.
Yeah, they're, like, instantly falling and dying. Just like, what is going on? And it's not like they hit the ground and, like, clunk! They just, like, drop like dead birds.
I feel like maybe those were all lemons. And those are all like the default ones. They're just like, let's just get rid of these assholes. They just had them on a suicide mission to get destroyed. It's like, let's let them waste all their bullets on those, and then we're going to send the real ones in there and then start killing everybody.
Yeah.
But just go to the chat real quick. Louis says only 2 months and 20 days until Days of Future Past. And he says he hears the new Matrix trilogy is supposed to be a prequel. He's like, the new Star Wars, if you got what I mean. So, I don't know if this could be... Okay, so I actually had heard... The only thing that gives these rumors a little bit of validation is I had heard these rumors like at least a year ago, if not 2 years ago, that they're going to make a new Matrix trilogy. I'd heard one that they're going to redo the trilogy, and then I heard one that it was going to be like a sequel. This first I heard prequel, but that could be interesting. What I wish they would do is just remake the second and third movie. Just make one movie and one real ending. And my whole thing that pissed me off the most about the way the sequels went is anyone that's seen the Animatrix. There's one, and I bring this up every time I bring up the Matrix, so those of you that have heard this, bear with me. There's one story where it's pretty much just like different stories that take place like in the Matrix. Like you see the origin of how the war happened between the humans. You see like the kid that's in the third movie, like how he broke out, and different ways that people can break out of the Matrix. They had one that was the most intriguing to me, and it was where there's a glitch in the Matrix. And so gravity wasn't operating properly, so kids could like jump and like start floating, and they could like throw an object one place and it would come out like through a portal and somewhere else. So it was like broken code. And I was like, okay. So in the way the first Matrix ends is, Neo crashes the Matrix. He's like, I'm going to show you a world, without rules, without boundaries, without you. So I'm thinking, okay, that's where they're leading. He's just going to start destroying the whole code, and everyone's going to be able to like do all these crazy things, and like all the physics is going to be messed up, and it's going to it's going to slowly destroy the Matrix because the whole thing is like once they're they have to believe that it's real. So you just see people flying around doing all this craziness.
Yeah, they'll start letting themselves out.
Yeah,
of the
they start
Matrix.
waking up. So I'm like, oh man, this could be so awesome. They think the second one is just like fighting a bunch of Agent Smiths. It's pretty cool looking, but not what I was expecting or hoping for. So, I don't know. I wish they would have gone that route. And I think that it had a lot of potential.
That totally made sense. If that what was happening in the third one, then you have like an army of people who have freed themselves.
Yeah.
Who understand the broken code of the Matrix and like can go back in at will and do maybe not exactly what Neo does, but to some extent, people that can fly around at will are still pose a problem to the agents, Whereas like as untrained as Neo was in the first movie, took out the main Agent Smith, but he even took out the other two eventually. But then if you have someone else who can just stop bullets, then that's somebody that they have to deal with, And then not just one or two agents can handle. You'd have to actually send a troop of agents, to where, Neo can do all this Superman stuff, but then there's like three or four other dudes who can stop bullets, and 3 or 4 other dudes who can read movements and like stop anything the agents are trying to do, like kung fu style, and 3 other ones that can fly and cause problems,
they should have, if like Neo, if he's the Superman of the Matrix, they should have like a Batman. He used to throw like Matrix batarangs. It's like little code Matrix code batarang. I am the Matrix. I'm just taking them all out. I don't know, but I think it had a lot of potential. So it kind of disappoints me it went that way. If they actually do end up making a new Matrix movie, I mean, I would check it out. I mean, at least give movies at least the trailer to get me like intrigued or not.
Yeah.
But I don't know. To me, the Wachowski brothers like fell off. Like they made one great
siblings.
Yeah. They fell off, like, whatever they are.
Or simply Wachowskis.
Yeah. The chumps that made the Matrix. That's what I'm calling them. I don't know. They haven't impressed me since then. So, on one hand, I would be intrigued, but I wouldn't be excited, is what I would say.
I will definitely watch it if they bring in Matthew Fox.
Oh, a Speed Racer? Racer X, I mean.
Neo X.
Yeah. He would make a good Neo.
Well,
we have to go back, Morpheus.
Yeah, I know, right? It fit in perfectly.
They wake up. When they unplug from the Matrix, they're on the island.
Yeah, completely stereotype his ass.
I
was just a man on an island, and then I became the one. That's like the teaser trailer, and it's just like the whoa, and it says Matrix all in green.
The movie starts and ends with his eye.
And then you hear the weird like whoa, and all the numbers like falling down like rain.
Would Michael be in there? Give me back my son! Give me back my boy, Walt!
Give me back my movie.
No, that's gonna be the other Taken.
And then Evangeline Lilly can be Trinity.
Yeah.
And then they'll have Joey Pants come back and reprise his role as Cypher, and then there'll be a love triangle between the three.
Yeah, it's always in her contract. It's like, I have a no love triangle clause in my contract. Yeah, well, unless you want this paycheck.
I got a paycheck for $1 million that said it does.
Yeah, right. I better see that isosceles. But here's news that'll pretty much make people not happy. So we know Michael Bay, P. Diddy invented the remix for movies or for music, and I guess he's the guy who invented the remix for movies. So he wants to remake. Well, he's producing. So much like Ninja Turtles, he's a producer on this. But he wants to remake The Birds, the Alfred Hitchcock classic.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know why he thinks this is a good idea. Like, even if it wasn't Michael Bay, why do you need to remake this movie? It's just.
That's like spitting in Grace Kelly's grave.
He probably did right before he announced this. He's like, "Hey, bitch."
Yeah.
like at the Matrix when there's no spit, he just goes, "Puh!" So we can only expect that all the birds are going to be just packed full of hydrogen and just explode on impact as they're flying around. Probably be giant robots and
Still
alien
like
turtles.
Alka-Seltzer in the air and they
Yeah,
explode.
right. Yeah, all the birds are replaced with seagulls, and they're going to spontaneously combust. Luis shares our grief and says, "No." So, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, really? Like, why? So, some Dutch guy named Dirk van Rolligeen. I mean, I guess the name is unique enough that maybe he could add something to it. I don't know. But I feel like Michael Bay just likes to troll the world. Like, I think that's his real thing, where he's just like, I'm successful enough, people are going to not see my movies. And even if they don't, I got enough money where I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think after Ninja Turtles, he saw how everyone reacted with that. He's like, okay, we pissed off the fanboys. Now let's piss off like the people that really like the cinemaphiles. Let's piss them off too, So I'm just wondering what his next project will be. He'll find something else that's equally beloved. He'll like remake like Schindler's List or something, and he'll be like starring Shia LaBeouf, and he'll be like sitting there like, I don't know. But it just seems like he's just gonna keep like. Oh, go ahead, play.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
That pretty much sums it up. So I don't know. Just Michael Bay, come on, man. Like the thing that's most sad about Michael Bay is like he's not a terrible filmmaker. Like he just seems like he's one of those guys where if he sticks to original properties, he could actually make something decent. He made the Bad Boy movie, Bad Boys, Bad Boys 2, Painting Game, which I haven't seen, but I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Yeah.
It's like, if he has a smaller budget to work with, he's like, oh man, I gotta be creative. I actually have to think about stuff. I can't just phone this one in. But I almost feel like the Transformers has been like the worst thing for his career, and he's just like riding him into the ground. I mean, straight to the bank, but at the same time, like, respectfully, like, I don't know, just... Ninja Turtles is one thing, but really, like, the birds, like, I understand Ninja Turtles, like, there's a new show, there's a new comic, like, it's being remade.
Yeah.
But it's like, why do you
shows are different. They'll come and go.
Yeah, that's what I
all
mean.
the time, and each show is made for a different generation.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, you don't need a birds every generation,
No, you don't. You only need the one, and that's classic cinema.
So, I don't know, just remakes in general, like... To me, it's like, I don't get it. To me, it's like, okay, the whole point of remaking a movie, if you had a concept that was good, but it didn't quite hit the mark.
Yeah.
Like a movie that was like, okay, this is about a C+, B-, but you can make it an A. You're like, let's tweak some things, let's do it right, you can make a better movie. But if you already have a movie that's already great, it's like, no matter how good it is, everyone's going to say it's not as good as the original, so like, why even try?
Like, only movies I'd be, like, willing to accept, like, maybe, like, a modern-day Clue. Like, Clue just seems like one of those movies, or even Murder by Death, which it had like a who's who of that generation's cinema comedy geniuses. It had like Peter Sellers. It had I always forget his name. Guy that played it had the guy that played Columbo. It had a lot of it had Truman Capote.
Oh, you're gonna say True Blood?
No. It had all these other great actors in it, and it was a really funny movie. So if you were to do a movie, if you were to remake Murder by Death, I'd be more accepting of that, because especially if you're going to put today's modern comedians, and then just have them all in there being them, or like being parodies of these detectives.
You could have Danny McBride, Seth Rogen,
Will Ferrell,
The only thing that would make me worried is like somehow Adam Sandler would find a way to get in there.
Oh god! But yeah, but I mean that's the thing. Like he would have to be in that as well. You know,
touch the hiney.
just like a movie like that, I could be accepting of it. Whether it'd be good or not, who knows? But it's like, okay, well, they tried and it blew balls. But
what if
at least we have the original one to fall back on?
The number one prop comic Carrot Top was in it.
Well, now you're just ruining it. That's even okay. That just justifies why it shouldn't be made. Then. But if they go as far as like, because it's like The Birds, and if you were to do it with any other movie, so what's next? The Birds, and then now it's The Birds, and I feel like, well, what's next? Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
And then if you do that, it's like, well, then what's next? Citizen Kane. It's like, where does it stop before like it just becomes like Butcher?
Yeah. I want to see a hip-hop version of Citizen Kane. Rosebud, motherfucker. Doing drive-bys on the sled.
it'd be all like ghetto, like Rosewood. That was Hawk I played that.
He says I can see Carrot Top getting an Oscar now.
Over Leo.
He's gonna like Leo, like they're gonna announce the winner for Best Actor, Carrot Top, and Leo's gonna walk up Zoolander style and accept the award.
Oh, that's terrible.
He really is playing Carrot Top with the Hansel music. But I'm just gonna go back to the trivia question real quick because most people have left the chat, but I don't think Carrie was here when we were saying the trivia question. So this is for the Uncanny X-Men Volume 1. And the question again is, which famous actress was offered a part in the X-Men movie released in the year 2000, but turned it down, and what was the character?
Should I play the music?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Your non-Jeopardy music?
I never heard this.
Okay, well, while you're playing the music, I'm going to say the question again so it sounds all dramatic. And the question, which famous actress was offered a part in the X-Men movie was released in the year 2000, but turned it down, and what was
this
the
one?
Yeah. And it was badass.
Those look pretty badass.
Yeah.
What X-Men cartoon was this?
That's what I told you. It was the Japanese intro for the X-Men animated series from the 90s. They just made their own intro because they're Japanese. They do that type of stuff.
This looks so good!
I told you, I saw this and I was like,
where's this X-Men team? That looks so cool.
Because of that even cable.
So I was looking at Apocalypse and I've never seen any. Oh my god, that looks awesome.
You know what's sad about this is so nowadays they've made an X-Men anime and it looks nothing nearly as good as this. Oh, look at that rope.
They look so badass and lovable. Oh my god.
Louis says, with the music, I feel like we must answer the question to save the world. And Carrie says, I don't know. So, I guess the question will go unanswered. So we'll probably put it on the Facebook or something. And see if anyone can answer it during the next go-around.
And we'll announce the winner.
Whatever, there is a winner.
Yeah. Or actually, we might have to do a different question because then it would kind of defeat the purpose of Luis's hard work.
Yeah, but I want someone to answer it though. Maybe they'll put them into a drawing where they can answer that other question. they win
something.
They win the shot of answering another question. Yeah. So here's another article that's near and dear to my heart. So those of you who love Breaking Bad, which should be anyone that can breathe, even though Agamemnon still has not finished it. But basically there's a spinoff with another one of Agamemnon's favorite actors, Bob Odenkirk. And Better Call Saul, which debuts this fall. And apparently Aaron Paul is in quote-unquote serious talks, bitch, to star in the spinoff. So it's going to be a prequel, so it's going to be when he was just a young dealer before he got the tutelage of Heisenberg. So he's pretty much was like, hey, man, anything Vince Gillian's doing, I'm doing. I owe my whole career to him, so if he says, hey, I want you to be Jesse Pinkman again, I'm going to be Jesse Pinkman. So, I don't know, I'm pretty excited about it. If for no other reason, but just the fact that, I don't know, especially if they go with more of a comedic route, because the comedic parts of Breaking Bad were some of my favorite for such a serious and anxiety-inducing show. So if they kind of make a show that's like more geared around that, I can see it being really interesting. And just seeing like all the crazy clients and stuff that Saul has. So getting more of a glimpse into his world and just the type of, I don't know, just the type of madman that he is. So I don't know. I don't know if you guys have feelings on the show besides loving it, like Mickey D's.
I don't know. I've already said I'm not too excited for the spin-off anyways. I'm not a fan of Bob Odenkirk.
I think what you mean is there's no way you could be more excited.
No, that's not what it is. Yeah. At all. Yeah. Ever.
See, if you got to season 5, you might feel differently.
Bob Odenkirk is an annoying piece of trash, and I would never support any actual work he does.
But that's why he's so
I don't
perfect
think he's
to
funny.
Saul.
He's not funny.
Yeah.
He's not a funny. I don't find him funny. Believe it or not, there's people that don't find Will Ferrell hilarious.
Well,
I am not one of those people. He is incredibly hilarious, and I will defend to the death his hilarity.
Well, Carrie Figueroa says the pizza tossing is the best, referring to Breaking Bad when Walt.
Oh, I laughed at that part. Yeah,
yeah, I cried because I was like,
well,
that's a perfectly good waste of a pizza.
That was Walt. That was all Walter.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry, Luis.
Luis says, I think Jay's a scroll. He says, what? Guys, it's time once again for the internet shutting Jay.
You're gonna be very disappointed when I get shot in the head and my body stays the same. And then you'll have to go to prison for murder because I was not a scroll.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
No!
You actually turned out to be a scroll, but you didn't even know you were a scroll.
Oh my god.
Because
that brainwashing.
Because that's good storytelling according to Bendis.
Yeah. He never even knew.
What if Bendis was a guest writer in Better Call Saul? Would you like it better than?
I would like it less. I'm pretty sure I would like it less.
What if Jesse Pinkman had an Infinity Gauntlet?
No.
So anyway, yeah, more than likely Aaron Paul will be in it. When they first announced it, they said Bryan Cranston would probably make like guest appearances. I can't see him being a regular just because it wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But it'd be funny if he was just kind of in the background, like he'd be at the
shopping
grocery
at
store.
the grocery
Yeah, exactly. And then he'll be like, I don't know. They'll just do like little subtle like plugs, and he'll be like standing in front of like an advertisement for menthol or whatever, and it's just like all you can see is like the meth part or whatever.
Yeah.
Just like something like that where it's just like, all right, like I don't know, just like poking fun or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that would be pretty cool. But I think at the very least having Aaron Paul involved is A-okay with me. So we only have one more topic to go through. It's really interesting, more so than like, oh my god, this is funny. But it's funny. Well, it is funny in light of another article. So we had mentioned on a previous podcast, I don't know if you watched the show Young Justice.
No, I haven't.
Okay. Well, it was a really popular show that was on Cartoon Network, and everyone was bummed that they canceled it. So the execs at Warner Brothers were like, whoa, we canceled it because too many girls were watching it, and girls don't buy toys, and so they're not a target demographic, so we're canceling it. So just so happens that Warner Brothers just put their foot in their mouth, because Image Comics pretty much said that. Turns out that women are actually the fastest growing demographic in the comic industry. So, yeah, good job, Warner Brothers, on being dumbasses. Yeah. So I thought that was funny, and it kind of seems that way, because it seems like more and more, like, going to conventions and stuff, or even going to the comic store. Once upon a time, like, you go in there, you never see, like, a female. Like, now it's just like, hey, there's one over there. One over there. Oh, that one's kind of cute. Let me talk about that one. You know?
And there's one. And there's one. And there's one. Oh wait, no, it's a dude dressed as a chick.
Yeah,
right. Behind him, that's. Chick.
It's like she's sobbing over Bendis too. Let's eat Haagen-Dazs together. So I just thought that was really cool, and it's really interesting.
Is it Haagen-Dazs because we got scoops?
Oh.
See, I said that joke a couple of episodes ago. Well,
Did you?
30 episodes ago, and you guys just looked at me like I was crazy.
Did we say fumble fingers?
No. I won't make that mistake again.
Luis says, I'll paint you green. I don't actually know. Oh, okay, for the scroll thing. I was wondering, I was like, I didn't see this until now.
Yeah, see, Carrie gets it. It was a Yipes reference.
I
thought you guys got it, or at least I thought Beetle would get it, but nope.
Well, afraid not. But I hate to see that type of thing happen.
Yeah. Yeah, because Beetle's usually here. He hasn't been here since pretty much the second week of the new year because of his job. But every time I talk to him, all he talks about is like, you know, how when I first got like into the whole scene, and I was like, dude, this major, this is awesome, and this major, and this one's awesome. And like when I get into something, I get into it, like hardcore, and then it slowly tends to like die down, and that pretty much happened to me like after Evo last year. And it just kind of died down for me, and I was like, I stopped playing the game after September, after 9/11. No, after
everything changed.
After Bobby beat me horribly, and like he just like I guess when he saw Evos, when he started upping his viewership and getting really enticed into the whole scene,
get hype,
and whereas mine was kind of like slowly dying down. So then like like Bobby's always had a knack. Even just for timing, and not only just his combos and stuff, but even like to me, I was reminded earlier today like how good Bobby was when I was sitting there trying to do some like Tron Bond combos.
Yeah,
and I was like, Jesus Christ! It's like you have like a decimal of a second to press L after doing that little drill drive move, and it was pissing me off. Because the whole combo is like a fucking million damage.
Yeah.
And it's a solo combo. It's like, okay, I'm all about solo combos because I'm not very good at the assists. But anyways, I was thinking back playing Need for Speed with Beetle.
Yeah.
And you know, like, if you ever played racing games, when you can hit the gas at like the perfect time and you get like that 2-second boost, you know?
Like in Mario Kart.
Yeah, like in Mario Kart, but like even in Need for Speed, it's called like the perfect shift, I guess. And right when you hit the gas button, then you just go a little bit faster. Unless everyone else gets it too, then you all go at the same speed. But like you get that extra boost instead of doing like the slow startup, you know. Yeah. And he always had a knack for getting that like at will. And I'm like, okay, when do I do it? He's like, okay, just watch me. And then I would watch him, and you're like, boom, and he wouldn't even be watching the screen. It's all audio cues.
So many times.
Yeah,
it was muscle memory.
Yeah, it was a muscle memory. But I mean, I had just noticed him doing it, and when we were racing each other, I was like, dude, you seem to be getting this like a lot. How are you doing this? Well, I don't know. I just hear the ding and I hit it.
Yeah.
And me, I'm more like visual. I look at it and then I do it, and he was just like listening. He was just like looking at me like that, and then ding, and then he would get it. And I was like, and I was just thinking about that, like, oh man, because he's doing these really intricate Dante combos, the bolt cancels, and man, all that shit is just crazy to me. But like watching him do it, and you've seen him do it, and it's just like that's insane.
Yeah.
And it's like the team synergy. His Deadpool's immaculate, but you will never see him in tournament play because he just like he doesn't have that competitive spirit. It's all about just like, I want to do this 200 hit combo just so I can, and I can show people. And if we play intimately, of course he's going to bring out the competition, but he doesn't have that competitive spirit.
Yeah, it's like once it starts getting competitive, he's like, I don't want to play anymore.
He starts playing. He actually starts playing worse.
Yeah,
and then he gets. To him, that's like a turnoff.
He pretty much like peaks. Like he'll start off pretty good, get really good and unbeatable, and then he'll just kind of drop off. And
he'll start dying down. So like even if he did play in tournaments, if he played in like a 200-man tournament, he'd probably make it to like. I mean, I would be confident that if he actually was competitive, he could make like top 32.
Yeah,
at the very least, top 32. But I feel like he would probably top out after 100 and just like this day's too long. I give up. I'm just gonna like drop out or just not play as good,
Yeah.
But I mean, if that's his attitude, he wouldn't even get into a tournament in the first place. But I was just thinking like how crazy like he is at like all this stuff and like how into and like right now every time I talk to him, he's like just to bring it all full circle. He's like deep into all these tournaments. Oh, dude, it just got to the point where like, hey, dude, did you watch last week's? Battle Circuit, and I'm like, oh no, I didn't watch it. Hey, the next week, did you watch this past week's Battle Circuit? And then, then there was the whole Chris G's rent money thing. That's what they were calling it. And I was like, no, dude, I just don't watch it anymore. I'm sorry. And then it was like, hey, did you watch? Did you watch? It was actually this past weekend, SoCal Regional. Did you watch SoCal Regionals? I'm like, no. I heard who won. I think Apology Man took Marvel. And he was like, yeah, dude, it was awesome. He's like Facebooking me about all it all. And I was just like, I mean, I care to a degree, but I don't at the same time. I mean, I understand, like, he made me quit Marvel, and then back in November, he got me back into Marvel, and now I'm actually, like, pretty decent at the game, instead of just, like, loser noob. It's like, oh, look, I can do this, like, solo cap combo, 1,000,000 damage with well, I can do it without X Factor, but then I can do it with X Factor, but, yeah, like, I'm so much better at the game. I have that crazy Doom combo, which, like, if you talked to me a year ago, it'd be like, oh, dude, I couldn't even try it. I couldn't even attempt to try that, and now I can do it almost at will.
Did you do it for Latveria?
Yeah, I do it for Latveria.
Good.
Do you guys plan to check out... Oh, Carrie's asking, do you guys plan to check out EVO in the future? I've been trying to do EVO the past 2 years, and every time... I was pretty dead set in going last year, but my wife needed emergency surgery, so that pretty much killed not only my time off, but my budget money, or my vacation money, I should say. So I wasn't able to go last year, and now Beetle is all like... He insists on going this year. And that was like the same fervor that I had back in like 2011 when I first got into the scene. And yeah, definitely family first. And when I first got into the scene, I was like, dude, we gotta go. All of us go. And then like everything just fell apart. And then last year I was like, all right, I think we all had the money by April, except for Beetle. He just kind of like slept on it. But then after EVO, he's all been like, dude, I really want to go. And every month and every major that passes, he's like, dude, I really want to go to this. Dude, I really want to. Man, I think I'm really going to go to EVO this year. And I'm like, well, then go. He's like, you're not going to come with me? He's like, dude, I got a baby coming in August. There's no way I'm going to be able to have money for EVO in July and then still have money for a kid afterwards. Along with now paying damn near $1,200 on rent every month. So I was like, yeah, I kind of don't have a budget right now for that kind of stuff.
But what if you want EVO?
Yeah, that's going to happen. That is definitely going to happen. With Cap, Sentinel, and Doom, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Low tiers rising up.
Low tiers. Dude, I think I finally understand, like, the tiers. Like, you know, Nat's coming into town. Is it this weekend or next weekend?
I think next weekend.
Okay, so I still got time. I've been trying to find a brand new team just for him that I've never used because he kind of ragged on me a little bit. Like, man, you're good. You're like, you've gotten a lot better. It was like, but all you have is like Cap, Sentinel, and Doom.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but I kind of got Trish. And I was like, nah, man, I got like basic, like LMHS. Up in the air, LMHS down, and then like jump and air specials. Like, yeah, that's fucking basic. That's like maybe 600k damage. And I was like, but where's her like badass combos? Like, there's this one dude, K-Brad. He's got a fucking immaculate Trish. And I was like, I can do it like that. And then every tutorial I've been watching, and I got this really cool combo down. It was a solo combo. And I'm all about solo combos, so if I can find a character that can do solo combos, which the three that I have, Sentinel, Cap, and Doom, all have good variations of their own solo combos. So they fit, they're like right up my alley. So I started working on Trish, and she's only got like 2 solo combos. All the rest are assist combos. And I don't really care for assist combos, which is a shame because I'm not really playing the way the game's tailored.
Do you even assist combo, bro?
Yeah, do you even assist, bro? But, at the same time, she seems more reliant on assists than actually it being an option. So I was really bummed out. And then I'm watching this one tutorial by this one guy, and all his combos that he's teaching all start with stiletto kick, which is her version of a dive kick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really? If that's the case, then I'm dropping her. So I dropped her, and then I went on to Tron. And then that little infinitesimal where you have to press L when Ryu, had Ryu as the computer version, but like he's in the air for like not even a fraction of a second. Like you have a small window of opportunity to press the light hit button.
Yeah.
And then continue with the combo, and I was like, after like an hour, I was getting nowhere. I was like, all right, well, I'm dropping her. I can't. I don't have the time or the patience to like keep doing this with her. And then I picked up Scroll, and Scroll was very much like, here's all these great combos with assist characters that I don't even want to use. So like, there's Dormammu, there's Wesker, and there was a couple of other ones, and I was like, I don't really want to do any of these. The only other one was like Doom, but I have Doom in the back.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, all right, well, I'm not going to do Scroll. So now I'm working on Storm, and she seems more viable. But we'll see where it goes. And I actually plan on filming when Nat comes down because he said he's getting really good. But last time he said he had a tournament-worthy Hulk, and I was like, dude, your shit's nowhere near Jan's. So, sorry.
Well, all I know is you can't go wrong with a mistress of the elements.
You can't. You really can't. And so my new team, well, it's 2 new members. I'm working on Storm, Magneto, which I haven't even gotten into yet. But even when I fuck around, I'm just like, this dude is so fun. and I'm just trying to strengthen Doom because as much as I like Doom, even on my main team, it's still even for being Anchor, just because he does more damage, but he's still I think my weakest character because I could put Cap in the back and feel confident, at least among friends. I don't know about like tournaments and shit, but Cap's my strongest character. So
I still think Doom is, but that's another debate for another time.
Really? I don't know. Like I've training that whole week just for Nat because I was like legitimately scared. Because he's like if he ever played Third Strike, I think he would be up there.
Yeah,
like he plays that game that's scary, you know. And it's not like that whole. I know there's people that say like, oh, dude, if I played tournaments, I'd be good, and they're like secretly garbage, even like in casual play. But like Nat just had that knack, you know, like he was legitimately good at that game. And even when all those dudes came down for the Street Fighter Cross Tekken tournament during Screenburn a couple years ago. I got to play Rennick and a couple other dudes, and I was like really excited playing them. I was trash, and people were trying to kick me off for trash, but I wanted that experience to play like a pro level person. And to me, it was satisfying. It was fun, and I was just like, I don't understand why these dudes are all angry. Oh, you're killing time. It's like, motherfucker, this ain't a tournament. This is casual play.
I put my quarter in, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, I put my quarter in. I get to fucking play. If I want to run it back, I get to run it back. And they're like ragging on me.
Just for people that don't know, we went to one of the local arcades here, and we play a lot of fighting games, but there's people that are like on just like levels above us because they just pretty much they're college kids that do nothing but play arcades all the time, and they actually got really good at them. So we're doing really basic stuff that is like that's not even how you play the game.
I would go an extra step and say it's below basic.
Yeah,
but it's predictable to these dudes. It's predictable. Even people that aren't like known. There was like that one dude, that Ryu player, that was just like schooling Rennick over and over, and he was bringing in Q, and then he was just like low tier whoring. And I remember listening like when the Gutex Cross Counter was big a couple years ago, and they were talking about Rennick on that the Street Fighter Cross Tekken tournament, the TV tournament that they had. What was it called? Cross Assault. And he was like, yeah, I love Rennick. He's a great player, but he low-tier whores like a motherfucker. And then watching him that night, it's like, it's true! He does low-tier whore! He's only using Q and Alex and Dudley. And I loved him for it. It was awesome.
Yeah.
But like that dude that kept using Ryu, and then he would lose and get off, and then I would play, and then a couple other people played. But that one dude kept like ragging on me that whole time.
Yeah. So to my point, it's like, okay, basically the way you play an arcade, you put your quarter down, you get to play. I think the way they had it was like, I guess you could like pretty much play until you're just like out of money or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were just kind of bullying us off because like they're better. But it's like, this is the rules that you set up for your arcade. So I don't care how shitty. I don't care if I'm playing with my toes. That's my time to fucking play. So it was just really it was really lame. It was just like, all right, I get it that you guys are better, but that doesn't mean that you have like priority on the machine.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know. I hope I get into that situation again because I'm just gonna sit there. I'm not even gonna use the controllers. I'm just gonna pretend like I'm playing. Like this is a silly story, but like when I was I don't know, like 7 or something. And I was playing the Ninja Turtles game on arcade. Oh yeah. And some kid was playing, or like how they have like when no one's playing the actual game, and it just has like the screen, and it's going through like pretty much going through the motions, and like the computer's just playing, and the kid's like moving the joystick like he's actually playing. So I was like, all right, well I'm gonna go and play, and I put my quarter in, and I started playing. I'm like kicking ass, being Michelangelo, like this game is fun. This kid just fucking like bites me in the hand. I'm just like, what the fuck? So yeah, I'm gonna pull one of those on those guys there. Bite him in the hand. Oh, it's not fun now, is it? Son of a bitch.
Well, it's funny because I remember they had I think they just brought them back a couple of weeks ago, but Marvel nights where everyone puts down $5.
Yeah.
And Marvel's free for the whole night.
Yeah.
It's free, but you're paying the $5 cover. But yeah, if 10 people put down $5 and you get those 2 arcades for the whole night at UFO. And this was like 2 years ago, and I remember us going one night, and we were just going there to play Marvel. And I wanted to get into the scene, and it's like you put money in, and it runs on a timer. It's not like
that's
you just,
what it was.
It's not like
picking you up before your time was up.
Yeah, there you don't just do 2 out of 3 and you're done. Like to me, it's like, all right, well, if I put in 2 quarters and I get 3 minutes, then I'm going to play for those 3 minutes.
Yeah,
I'm putting in the quarters for the 3 minutes, and in those 3 minutes, I was able to do 2.5 matches.
Yeah,
so. This dude was behind me, and there was guys that were just playing over and over and over and over, and there was one dude on the other side that was playing like 20 minutes straight up.
Yeah,
so that's like what, $5. And he's winning. Once you get to the winning streak, you're not having to put money in. The other dude is.
Yeah.
So I kept losing. I was putting in money, and I played pretty much 6 minutes worth. And then there was a guy behind me who had got off, and I got on, and then the dude's like. He had said something like really smart ass, and I didn't think anything of it because I didn't care. And where we work, I hear like 10 times worse, so it literally just like water off a duck's back, and you don't think of anything of it. But I was sitting there playing, and then he had said something like, he was talking to another dude. He was like, "That's so fucking bad, and he should get off the fucking sticks." But like where he said it loud enough to where I could hear it, and I don't know if that was intentional or not. And I looked, and I had like 40 seconds left, and I lost. And I was like, all right, well, whatever. Yeah. So I just got off, and I was like, here you go. And then the guy just looked at me, and he just like sat down, like I was the asshole. Yeah. I was like, I thought the whole point of Marvel Night was so that everyone can learn, and like damn, what was his name? It's been so long. He used to work with us. I don't know if he's skills. Yeah, got no skill. He was sitting there, and he knew I was bad, but he would sit there and he'd be like, "Charging star, just charging." He's not going to see it coming because you're not doing anything. Just do a random charging star, and I did it. But I'm still learning the sticks because I'm a pad player, and so I'm still sitting there learning the sticks. And I just do a random charging star, and it works. And in my head, I'm like, yay!
Then you get killed.
Yeah. I was excited.
Have that one.
I was excited because I wasn't going to get perfected by, I think it was GoX or one of the other dudes. But I was excited and got no skills, like pretty much holding my hand. But then once he went to the other side, and they were like, he was talking to other people and stuff. Like I didn't have anybody coaching me anymore on how good I should be. Or like what to do in the situation. Now I know better, but and the other dude just being a fucking asshole the whole time, and I was just like, man. I mean, I love this place. I like the people there, and the people that I have met are really cool. And a handful of them, I still keep in contact with on Facebook, even if I'm not able to go anymore. Yeah. But like, why do you go out of your way to be a fucking dick like that? Like that's one thing I don't understand, and I know it's a widely thought sentiment about FGC in general, and it's just like it is an ugly aspect of it, but I wouldn't necessarily describe the whole that everybody's like that because they're not. But there's those people that just like don't know how to fucking talk in public, And I understand there's that whole Louis C.K. sentiment, like, oh, don't censor what you say, and I completely agree. But when you're going out of your way to be an asshole for no good reason, you got some social issues. But
hey, they can still do it Iron Man Infinite.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Dude, that's still one of the best experiences I've ever had going to UFO, was watching Dake do Iron Man Infinite's, like he's playing fucking a concerto on the piano. It was so epic, dude.
About to bust out some Mozart on this
I just remember sitting there watching and just like, because I was on the empty Tekken machine next to it, sitting on the stool, and I just put my chin on my hand, and I was just like looking like, oh, that's awesome. That's so great. I love it.
Yeah, so those people who aren't familiar, basically in Marvel vs. Capcom, it's pretty much a glitch that they never fixed, and it's like you can pretty much just like do a combo like forever. I mean, obviously until the other character dies, but there's nothing that can stop it. Like there's no preset like hit amount that makes you like have to drop it. Like you just keep going. So this guy's doing it. And he's literally not even looking at the screen. Or
he wasn't. Yeah, at one point
he was like looking at his friend, like talking, like, "Yeah, man, it's just like playing piano."
He's like, "Wait, man, it's just like playing piano," and all you're hearing is like boop 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 boop. Like, dude, if you put a beat to that,
it's like, dun,
and then turn some of those into like cymbal crashes, you'd have a fucking song that's looping over and over. Yeah. It was incredible. Yeah, and at one point he's like not even looking at the screen for like a good 5 seconds, talking to somebody else, like literally definition of like multitasking.
Yeah.
And like the way his brain works is like, obviously my brain does not work that way. Because I'm sitting here and I'm like, if I push down harder, that means he's gonna like kiss the ground that much faster, you know? Like that's how I play with like all my gross motor skills. Obviously, I have no fine motor skills. You know, I just play with I play with my biceps, not with the muscles in my fingertips. But yeah, that's all I got.
Oh man, well, it's pretty much what we have for this episode of Straight Outta Austin. No, we don't really have any more topics, but I want to thank everybody for listening. Luis, Carrie Figueroa, also Steve-O of the Four Eyed Radio Network, of which we are part of, so check them out. Check out the Fern Four Eyed Radio Network. They have a lot of other podcasts. Steve-O has I swear every other day he has a new podcast. I think he has his new one. I know they just made a Power Ranger podcast, and he's doing a Brony podcast or something.
Yeah.
So pretty much everything you can think of, there's a podcast on Fern.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
At least one of every topic.
Yeah. So check it out, and obviously, shout-outs to Kelly Nova of WeirdGirls.com. That's weird-girls.com, who is also listening. And, of course, Luis, faithful listener, as always. Always happy to have him there. Even if he disagrees with Jason Momoa playing Drax the Destroyer in Guardians of the Galaxy, still a cool dude. And also, he'll be shortly debuting his podcast, The Comic Bubble. We'll be talking to all things comic books. And obviously, as you can tell, we defer to him for comic book knowledge all the time. He's just got a plethora of it. So as you can imagine, that his show is going to be awesome, and you're going to probably learn a lot.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be good, so look forward to it. I believe myself and Agamemnon are going to be the first guest on there, so check it out. I don't know, I think it's going to debut, I don't know the exact day, but it's going to be posted on Fridays. So, yeah, so keep an eye out. We'll definitely be promoting it on punchingthewallsreality.com, so check that out. Also, speaking of Kelly Nova, if you're into cosplay, check out her Closet Cosplay, and she does a really awesome cosplay of the Baroness from G.I. Joe.
Yeah, let me actually link it in the comment section.
Alrighty. Yeah, Neil, Agamemnon's going to link it in the comment section, and also if you're listening to this on the, on demand, I'll link it on there. Well, it should be on Punching the Walls Reality anyway. And you can always find it on mixler.com/pitwar. So, yeah. Obviously, the episode, as always, is posted on Wednesday, so keep an eye out for that. And, of course, in studio, we've got here CJ, a.k.a. Blood Ocean 07. So,
yeah, it's been great. I really enjoyed it. It was really, really fun. Just want to explain my name, just for anyone who wants to know.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the show Metalocalypse?
Yeah.
Because there's an episode where they making a movie, it was called Blood Ocean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it was
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
I love that show because someone always dies on that show like that. It's so great.
Every 2 minutes, someone
That's
dies.
awesome.
And the year was 2007.
Okay.
That was kind of basically when YouTube was still new.
Yeah.
That's when it first started.
It was still a baby.
So that's the origin.
We actually have somebody in the Spreaker chat.
Oh wow! I didn't
Amanda B, thank you for joining us. Although
hey Amanda, thank you.
Kind of came later towards the end.
Yeah, we just forgiveness for the people in Spreaker because we kind of forget about you guys, but we don't do it intentionally. It's just that we very rarely have people in the Spreaker chat, but we appreciate you nevertheless. And Amanda B, you got my heart. But go back to Blood Ocean. He also has a YouTube channel. Just want to tell people about that.
Yeah, I'd mostly do what's called Let's Plays, or people play a game and talk over it, live commentary or post commentary, just of different games, new or old or just whatever games type of they want. I mostly do Nintendo. I try to branch out a little bit. The only non-Nintendo thing was Arkham Asylum on PS3,
nice.
And yeah, I've just try to branch out more often. Try to be, I don't know, more diverse, I guess. Mm. So,
and just in case you guys are doubting his prowess, he's got 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. We've got 3, so this guy knows his shit. So check him out.
Yeah. And what's the channel again?
Just Blood Ocean 07.
Blood Ocean 07. I remember when I first heard that name, it was just like, it just sounds like all gothic. Like,
Yeah.
like you're gonna come in just like
It's total like nerdum. Nintendo.
Do you ever watch the Aqua Teens where what was the guy's name? I think it was like Zach Wilde, and he buys Carl's house. And he's like, "Yeah, can I get like the blood to flow up the walls?"
Yeah.
That's what I imagined. So yeah, that would be an Ocean of Blood. I guess that would be like the aftermath of like a Jaws movie.
Yeah. After an exploding shark.
Yeah. It's like Kill Bill, like it's the heart explosion technique to a shark, and it just blows up, it splatters blood everywhere into a whirlpool of shark blood.
Amanda said, "I see how it is. It's cool."
We're so sorry, Amanda B. That, but yeah. So Amanda B, if you're listening, I don't know what time zone you're in. We typically start the shows at 8 p.m. Central Time. So yeah, if you want to join us next week to hear the entirety of the show, or if you want to listen to the podcast, it'll be posted on Wednesday at punchingthewallsreality.com, and it will be straight out of Austin, episode 105.
Yeah, and the Mixer chat room is cool. You're on Central as well as we are.
Good, best time zone.
The Mixer chat room is a lot more active, so you can definitely chime in with everybody else there on all the festivities.
Yes, much festivities. Oh yeah. Also, if you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at PTWOR, and yeah. And I think Blood Ocean, you're just at Blood Ocean 07.
Yeah, and Facebook and Instagram also.
So pretty much everything. He's got the entire internet covered with blood.
Try to stick to one single name.
yeah. It really works out the best. It's like, instead of like having like a whole bunch where it's like, all right, this is Blood Ocean 01, this is Blood Ocean 02. It's like, no, 07 for everything.
Yeah. I remember I was playing like GoldenEye on the Wii. There was a guy named Blood Ocean 06. It's like, oh, I gotta take a picture of this.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was he like the former agent?
Yeah.
It's like in a GoldenEye.
Yeah.
He's a traveling to James Bond.
For
the Queen, James. For the Queen.
He just dropped him on a giant satellite. Oh man. Well, unless you got anything else?
Nope. We also have a Hellraiser radio in the chat room on Spreaker. So he said stupid Centralian, and Amanda said fucking Pacificans.
You guys.
Well, shit. Now we're growing our Spreaker chat. It's going to be much more of a task to toggle
Hellraiser
between
Radio.
the two.
We appreciate you tuning in for the last 5 seconds of the podcast. Hopefully you'll tune in next week at 8 p.m. Central and whatever time zone you're in.
Yeah.
Probably in the future. I don't want your future. I don't want your suffering. Anyway, with that, this is Prometheus.
This is Agamemnon.
This is Blood Ocean 07.
And this has been Straight
Outta
Austin.
Yeah. Blood Ocean Edition.
We're gonna let him leave with this
gem.
crunchy song.
Yeah.